8, and it's South Adelaide versus Woodville at the Adelaide Oval, and there's been some late changes, not just by the football teams. There's been some changes to the umpiring panel, as Jack Hilton has had to pull out from Adelaide Oval with the flu. And we see a quick mark taken there. That's been taken by the newcomer in Lambert. As I was saying, Hilton's pulled out with the flu, so Neville Thorpe has had to be rushed down to Alberton Oval, and David Elliott is officiating in his first league game today. So a few changes. Also, Fairclough is out of the South Adelaide lineup due to his wife having a baby. Now it's the veteran Ralph Sewer, 351 games. He's into attack looking for Nichols, and he's found him. That's a promising start to the Woodville side. Newcomer Craig Lambert, formerly from Paraka, last 2 seasons with Paraka. And Nichols' kick is on the way, but it's offline, so it's a minor score. The first score for the game. Woodville on 1 point. South Adelaide yet to score in what are fairly heavy conditions, or slippery conditions, here at Adelaide Oval.
Yes, they are, Kim. And of course, Stephen Nichols didn't score a goal last week. The first time in 22 games he hasn't scored a goal for the Warriors, so not a good start today for him. Offline yet again as Schwartz has tackled strongly. Now John Martin gathers in the ball, throws the handball backwards. Rogers it was, whose kick was smothered by Pittman. Off the ground, Steve Bickler. Now an opportunity for Lund to pick up the ball. He drags it across the line and out of play. We've had just on 2 minutes into the first quarter, and certainly it looks like conditions might just dry out a little bit. We've had plenty of rain before the start of this match. No rain for the last hour or so, and let's just hope it dries out a smidge. Baker got the tap down. He had 2 shots at that. Ron Fuller tried to burst his way through. Now Fantasia, no pressure applied, goes forward looking for Taylor. Taylor got a B-grade bounce. Now Whitford, strong work. Whitford kicks the ball off the ground, keeps the ball in front of him. Now has time to pick it up quickly onto the left foot forward. Underneath that one's Lyndon Valenti. So the 2 new players, Valenti and Lambert, playing on each other, as Williams, pushed in the back, receives the free kick. Of course, Valenti, the new boy for South Adelaide, playing his 3rd game. This, however, is his first full game. He's only played 2 quarters of senior football. Picking up the ball was Panizza, smothered off the boot, out of play.
Well, Rick Davies has been fairly vocal over the last couple of weeks, and fairly heavy with his criticism of the umpiring. And talking to Rick through the week, he said he met Peter Mead and was beneficial to both Peter and himself. So perhaps all's forgotten as far as umpiring's gone, and South will get on with the football. They have played without a lot of luck in recent times. This time the luck goes against them again as the free kick's awarded to Kevin Harris. He goes across the ground looking for Sewer, front position. Oh, it's a great spoil there, but unfortunately Brockhurst is infringed, and he's been given the job today of looking after Ralph Sewer. It was a good spoil, but he had his hand on his shoulder. Sewer drives long, looking for Nichols again. Over the head of that player. Back towards Taylor. Weaves his way through. Handball back to Nichols. He's quickly tackled by Hewitt. Haylock in there. Play on the call. Now the ball comes out through the agency of Pittman. It's a quick clearing kick. Shabickler first to get to the crumbs, paddling it forward. Brockhurst in there. He picks up the crumbs. Now handballs forward. Clever play by Brockhurst. Now the handball back to Pittman, who's backed up well. South Adelaide looking pretty keen in the early stages. Dewhurst in there, across the front of the pack. He's tackled by Williams. Fantasia is quite happy to see that one go over the line.
Well, good desperate work by both sides. Fantasia took the ball out of play. Pittman it was who followed the ball down from deep in the centre half-back position. Was able to push them forward. So plenty of runners, South Adelaide. That's what they've needed. They played pretty well in recent weeks. They only lost by 8 points to Port Adelaide last week, 4 points to Norwood in a close one the week before. So their form is good. They've just missed a couple of close ones. Might give the Warriors a fright today too. It certainly looks like being a good game. Fantasia out of defence forward. Bennett there for South Adelaide. Good strong mark. Very reliable player, Bennett. Goes long. It's a good-looking kick off the boot too towards centre forward. Sneed Bickler flew high, but Rogers was there. Now Williams paddles it forward, not far enough. Menzel's able to gather the ball inside the line. In fact, it wasn't Menzel. It was David Steckel. Big fellow. Do the ruck work. Williams there for the Warriors. Steckel got the palm down. Pittman on top of that one. Couldn't gather it in. Now an opportunity for Fuller. He weaves his way through the pack well. Experienced campaigner Fuller towards grandstand wing. Bennett, big thump away. Now Schwartz. Short. A little bit long, however, for Templeton. Brockhurst couldn't mark, then picks up, recovers well, drives forward. Steckel again, an opportunity, mark. Well, the other 2 players misread that for the Warriors. Kevin Harris was one. He let Williams take the fly, and Williams didn't do it. Kaplan almost ran himself into trouble. Schneebichler couldn't control it. Now to play yet again. They've certainly got some good players, this South Adelaide side. Kim, Kaplan, Steckel, Schneebichler, Bennett.
Well, you only have to look down the middle, Dave, and as you mentioned, they've got Steckel, Schneebichler, Kaplan, Brockhurst, or in fact Brockhurst has been given the job on Sewer, and Brooksby, so goal to goal, it's a pretty strong line as we see Ron Taylor's, that appears to be, no, in fact it's Lyndon Valenti over the top of that one. And just getting back to Steckel, he's been in magnificent touch. He kicked 11 the other week, he kicked 4 last week. So he's giving them something to aim at up forward, as Fantasia was in a little bit of strife there. He got it back towards Lunn, and Warriors having trouble clearing this ball. Now it's left up to that courageous player, Kevin Harris, to clear. Toomey couldn't control that. Honour in there battling hard, and that ball has just been kept in play. And it'll be umpire Ross Campbell to bounce. Only a couple of metres in from the line.
Yes, the South Adelaide forwards are doing a good job of keeping the ball in their area. They're not allowing the Woodville defence to run it out easily. But Davies, I'm sure, would be very pleased with that commitment. Schwarz quickly out of the pack. Underneath that one, Taylor was thumped away strongly by him. Honour almost received a push in the back, but the umpire didn't see it that way. And that's an interesting move. Whitford minding Taylor. There's Brenton Honour on screen, 27. Desperate player Honour. Baker and Parker, 2 experienced campaigners. Of course, Baker joined the Panthers from Port Adelaide this season. Certainly given their ruck division an added bit of strength. There's our new umpire today, David Elliott, officiating in his first game. Certainly it's a day he'll remember. Baker, front position. Parker from behind got the tap to Kapler. Was held to him, said umpire David Elliott. And another ball up will take place. We've now played just on 7 minutes into the first quarter. The Warriors are 1 behind, South Adelaide yet to score, so it's not going to be a high-scoring game. The defence is very strong at this stage. Panizza to Fuller, to Harris, the long one over the top to the runner in John Martin through centre. Good play, the Warriors. Martin goes direct with the long kick, looking for Nichols at full forward. Brooksby from behind thumped it away. Hewitt back to Whitford, then Brooksby. Good play, the South Adelaide defence. Wide, Pittman. Pittman created some space for himself on that occasion. He got clear of Martin. Now forward, the run's been provided by Max Eddy. He can play on, he chooses to do so quickly. He pushes the ball forward. Schneebichler on the end of that one, couldn't quite take it. Now desperate work forward. Rogers thumps the ball towards the boundary line, and he did that well. And after a magnificent game in that state game where he shut Dermot Brereton out only on Wednesday, Andrew Rogers already in fine form today.
Well, he should be chock-a-block with confidence. It was a magnificent effort as Williams tries to do the ruck work against Steckel. Steckel too much height, he managed to grab that. Couldn't get the clearing kick. It's taken by Harris. Now it's been picked up. Woodville South Adelaide go back into attack. Pittman got rid of that tackle. Now swings around onto the left boot, pushes it out to Schneebichler. He's picked that up cleanly. The handball back onto the running player in Honour. Here's a shot at goal from about 40 metres out, but the accuracy is not there. So it's a point to South Adelaide, and the scores are locked away here at Adelaide Oval, 1 point apiece.
Certainly a defender's kick from Brenton Honour. We're used to seeing him play in the back lines. Centre wing today for him. Give him an opportunity of having a few more shots at goal. Fantasia. Kick was not a good one. Baker. Short, well placed. Underneath that one. Good mark has been taken there by John Menzel. It's a wet, slippery ball, but the distance shouldn't be a problem for Menzel. His left wrist heavily strapped. Lines up deliberately. 35 metres out. Breeze, whatever there is going slightly across the ground. He's placed that beautifully, however, right through the middle. Good goal to Menzel. That's the Panthers' first. In fact, it's the first major for the day, and we've had 8 minutes into the first term.
Well, that certainly was a magnificent kick by John Menzel. But John Fantasia making an error there, should I say. It was a poor kick away. It went straight to David Baker. He had time to steady and push in a short pass to Menzel, and Menzel didn't let him down from about 50 metres out. And that's a handy start to this South Adelaide side.
Back in the glue pot centre, the only bit of Adelaide Oval that's not in beautiful condition. Of course, the reserves game prior to this, you would have expected to chop the ground up. It hasn't. Baker was held when not in possession. The umpire has seen the infringement, and Baker will receive a free kick. Max Parker just grabbed him by the arm. Panthers have been playing direct football today already, and that's the way Baker goes, straight down the middle, the quickest way home. Dickinson received the crumbs, pushed off it cleverly by Panizza, who stole the ball. Onto the left boot he goes, looking for Harris wide. Hewitt, one-hander. What a good mark, Harris. Hewitt it was. What a good mark in wet conditions. Harris was the player who tried to spoil, but Hewitt took a very strong mark, and there's a great tackle applied by Ralph Sewer on Craig Dewhurst. He hit him right there in the midriff with that ball as he handballed it back, Craig Dewhurst. Doesn't worry Ralph, he gets on with the job. Goes long, 50-metre kick off the boot. Taylor up, tried to take a screamer, couldn't. The ball's gone across the line, out of play.
Well, Andrew Taylor certainly does receive a lot more attention than he did last year. Him and Nichols have just been a little bit quiet in the first 8 games of this season. I think a lot of coaches have worked out certain tactics to try and curb their influence on the game. The ball comes to ground again. Dewhurst got that quick handball out towards Honour. The ball smothered off the boot and it's gone out of bounds again. We've had 11 minutes of this first quarter. Slippery conditions. A few light showers earlier in the morning. Baker takes front position. Got the tap down towards Haylock. Over the top of that is Eddie. And eventually it's umpire Ross Campbell to bounce once again. This time it's Parker with a big fist away, taken by Schwarz. His handball went over towards Templeton. His kick is high, underneath at Panizza. So too is Dickinson. Dickinson did that well. Been a good player for South Adelaide since moving over from Norwood. And he places that ball out wide to another former Norwood player in Jarvis. Jarvis with that familiar left foot kick, drives in long looking for Schneebichler. It's been well spoiled by Rogers, taken by Fuller. It's a wobbly kick away. Bennett back there had to spoil. Brockhurst couldn't manage it. Picked up well by Whitford. He certainly put on some bulk over the summer months. That ball spoiled away. Schneebichler, oh, brilliant handball. Well done, John Schneebichler, as he got that to Kapler. Kapler's kick is high to the pocket, but it's been well spoiled by the newcomer in young Craig Lambert, playing his first senior game.
Yes, the former Paraka boy. Played a couple of years out with Paraka. Port Adelaide under 17 and 19 player before that, as Kim Dillon told you earlier. Looks a likely type. The ball comes back into play. Steckel it is to do the ruck work. He got the palm to that one. Down it goes to Lyndon Valenti. The long handball to Kapler. He couldn't quite control the ball under plenty of pressure from Fuller. He tried to get away a handball, then he kicked it short. Fantasia picked up the crumbs. Now Haylock under pressure, high. Baker will need to go hard at this one. He has, thumped away cleverly by Templeton. Templeton picks up the crumbs. Back in turn to Haylock. Forward. Schwartz under that one, thumped it forward. Toomey, strong. Parker playing directly the Warriors. Pressure applied. Whitford, good work. Valenti. Fantasia, an opportunity, pushed in the back. That's the way the umpire has seen the infringement. In fact, he picked out one before that, and it's going the way of John Martin. The Warriors at centre wing. Dragon Tankasic has come onto the oval. Fantasia is off. Tankasic's gone to defence. Whitford. Good looking kick. Schneebichler tapped it down cleverly. Didn't even try and mark that. He tapped it towards South Adelaide players. Dewhurst picked up the crumbs, put it long to Stazanowski. That was well placed, and Stazza has the mark. Described by some critics as a goal kicking genius. 45 metres out. The angle is very slight. Take a deliberate line up at this one. He's got right underneath it, given it a real ride. It's lobbing in the goal square, just short of the line. He thumped across, however, and through for one behind. 1 goal, 8 points, South Adelaide. The Warriors 1 solitary point.
Certainly can kick a long ball, Stazanowski. Williams brings the ball back into play. Once again, it's to the grandstand side. Oh, Fuller should have controlled that, but he's first to recover. Normally has immaculate disposal. He pushes this one out in the direction of Templeton. He used his body well, manages to keep that in play. It's a clever handball back to Panizza. Panizza has to get away from Dickinson. It's a wobbly kick, but he gets plenty of meterage. And coming out like a ferocious bull is Kevin Harris. His handball over towards Taylor. Taylor drives long to the head of the square. Back there is Nichols. So too is Brooksby, and it's a fine spoil. The ball trickles over the boundary line in the right forward pocket for the Warriors.
Very reliable defender is Philip Brooksby. He's been given the job today of picking up Stephen Nichols. Nichols has 1 point to his name. The ball comes back into play. Underneath that one, Harris picks it up off the pack, has a snap at goal. Brooksby's underneath that one, spinning around trying to find it. He eventually did, but he couldn't mark it, but he's won himself a free kick.
Brooksby, he did a 360 then trying to find that ball. It was obviously swirling around the airs, and he's just done a couple of more 360s as he ran himself into trouble. Now the ball's pushed forward. Harris back there. Players jumping over the top, and it's picked up. It appeared to be Templeton. There's the snapshot. It was Templeton. A fine goal. So South Adelaide running themselves into trouble. Woodville capitalising, and they've posted their first goal to move on to 1-1-7. The Panthers on 1-2-8.
Well, that is a goal that the Warriors should never have got. They created something out of nothing. Philip Brooksby attempted to play on. The Warrior forwards there to pounce on him. They spun him inside and out. He looked like a top in the finish. Templeton stole the ball and was able to snap truly.
Centre field, it's Campbell to throw the ball up. In fact, it was the newcomer in Elliott. Taylor goes through hard, picked up by Haylock. He's certainly got the knack of finding the ball, and he's also found Ralph Sewer. Sewer thought about the lead, still not certain what to do. Well, what breeze there is, I would say, is possibly going across the ground. Sewer, prodigious kicker of the ball. It's a screw punt. Kept in play by Nichols. He's got to get rid of Brooksby. Got the handball back. Very close to the boundary line, and Bennett, in fact, is quite happy to see that ball go over the line.
South Adelaide defence very mean today. Played the boundary line well, given the Warrior forwards little opportunity. Ball comes now back into play. Christie and Parker. From behind, it's Whitford. He tried to gather the ball in off the pack. He couldn't quite gather it in. Swartz pounces on the ball, but the umpire will come in and have a ball up. That area of the field, he might decide to bounce. He has. It's a good bounce too. Christie got the tap down. Trying to pick up the ball was Dickinson. He was besot upon. He's won himself a free kick. Couldn't see what that was for. The umpire courageously pulled out a free kick to get play flowing. Dickinson's kick is a long one. Lunn has a good mark at centre wing. Although this ball's very slippery, there's certainly some sure handling ball skills going on out there. Panizza takes off like a startled gazelle, can line up the goals. Instead, he goes direct to the pocket. Underneath that one's Nichols. He placed himself well. Brooksby just got a hand to it, did it well. Now Taylor pushing the back from Whitford. Umpire's called play on. Now Martin. Lines him up, has a quick stamp at goal. Has he put it through? He has. That's good work to John Martin. He's first, the Warriors second, and that's better play from the Warrior forwards.
Well, that was tremendous play by the Mr. Versatile of the Woodville side, John Martin. Today he's playing on the wing, but previously we've seen him play on the half-back flank, centre half-back, back pocket, up forward, on the ball. He certainly can play a number of positions. And whilst players hesitated, John Martin didn't. He swooped upon that ball, went straight for home and banged it through the middle to post his side second goal. They move on to 2-1-13. South Adelaide 1-2-8.
Only 3 goals in the first 18 minutes of this quarter. It doesn't appear as though it's going to be a high-scoring one. Schwartz with the ball. Picks it up out of the glue pot centre. Adelaide Oval in beautiful condition apart from the centre of the oval. Forward goes Schwartz, the muddy ball's there. Brockhurst gathered in a good chest mark, off to Pittman. Straight through the centre he goes to centre half forward. Schneebichler from behind, couldn't mark. Now Lynch, defensively short. Panizza will try and keep the ball in play. He did it well, got away a quick kick forward. He's a specialist at that. Templeton was clean bowled, but is able to recover. Handballs over the top, intercepted by Brockhurst. Well done. They're going along the Panthers. That's the quickest way home. Inside the line, Stasinowski, and he was shoveled into the fence. I think he was too happy with that treatment. Hit the pickets very heavily. Couldn't quite see it from here, but I can assure you, he hit that picket fence very solidly. We heard the crunch from well up in the grandstand. Stas is going for a torpedo. He shouldn't with a wet ball. It's come off, however. John Menzel, good chest mark, 35 metres out directly in front.
Well, David Menzel took a mark from a similar position, the 9-minute mark of this quarter, and he managed to put that one right through the middle, so I would suggest the distance will not cause any problems whatsoever.
I think you might be right, Kim. He's going to line them up deliberately anyway. He's pretty confident that he can kick this one. Very deliberate, Menzel. It's a good-looking kick off the bird. It's gone 55 metres, post high, right through the middle. That's his second goal. Certainly a very effective forward today, John Menzel.
John Menzel kicking both goals for his side. And a rather fortunate one there as you see that young trainer there. That appears to be a lady. Everyone getting involved. It's not. Hang on, I've been told it's not. It's a young man with very long hair. Nevertheless, 2 goals to John Menzel, a fine effort, and he capitalised on that poor kick from Stazanowski.
Back at centre, you can see how muddy it is. Umpire Ross Campbell weaving his way through the mud, throws it high in the air. Dead heat, that one. Harris picked up the crumbs, shot out a long handball. Now Whitford picks the ball up. He's playing well at centre half back. Deep into the forward zone. No one home for the Panthers. Tankasic keeps it in play, or does he? No, he doesn't. He's only been on the field 5 minutes. Tankasic, he replaced Fantasia. He was playing only a couple of weeks ago back with the Greeks. Woodville have recalled him, and now he's in their senior lineup. Of course, he played with West Torrens. Shooting out the handballs, Craig Lambert. It was intercepted. Lyndon Valenti, high, into the forward zone. Down, Lund. Forward. Max Parker, Magician. Pushed it off well to Tankasic. It was tackled strongly, holding the ball. Good tackle, Kapler. Wastes no time. Plays on. He did that very well. Over the head, however, of Max Eddy. Rogers streams out from fullback. Kicks long. Brockhurst got a hand to that one. Now recovers. Oh, he flicked it back, looking for Bennett. Ralph Sewer tried to weave his way through. Pittman tackled him strongly. Now Brenton Honor. Bennett held when not in possession. Free kick, surely. The way the umpire has seen it, David Elliott already is doing a good job.
He certainly is, David. In fact, he hasn't missed a trick. He's been spot on from the very start of this game as Bennett pushes that out wide. Looking for Pittman. He dropped what he should have taken. This allows Harris to get in there. Pittman works hard to redeem himself, and eventually the ball's forced over the line. And Mark Pittman punches the ground in disgust with himself because he should have held that chest mark.
Well, Kim, what he was doing, he was trying to take the ball and go before he actually took it. Certainly he had reason to be disappointed. The ball is wet. Be like a cake of soap at the end of the day. There's a high tackle. It was a high slap in actual fact. Fuller.
In fact, David, I heard that one from here.
Yes, it was a slap. Fuller forward. Underneath that one, Ralph Sewer from behind. Good mark. Been some good aerial work today already. Well-placed kick, beautifully placed kick has found Stephen Nichols. That's one of the things that Ralph is well known for, the way he uses the ball. Nichols, 1 point. Already this game, 22.5 minutes into the first quarter, deliberately lines up the goals. Kicks coming around, not quite enough, however, 2 points to Stephen Nichols. He didn't get one last week, first time in 22 weeks, and he hasn't got one today.
Well, the Warriors possibly deserved a little better with that passage of play. The mark by Sewer was superb under these slippery conditions, and the pass was absolutely brilliant. Nichols did not have to alter stride whatsoever. It hit him right on the chest, but from about 45 metres out the right forward pocket, he couldn't convert.
Kapler brings the ball back into play. He opened the game in the centre. He's now playing the back line. Or is he? No, Ron Fuller's attending him, so certainly covering plenty of ground from the centre, kicking out at full back. Craig Lambert handballed the ball away. He was held after he disposed of the ball by Valenti, the new player for South Adelaide. And Lambert, natural left-footer kick, high into the forward zone, half-forward flank. Taylor flew high. Brenton Honor picked up the crumbs. He was tackled high. And he's won himself a free kick. Umpires today certainly playing the man with the ball, giving him every opportunity. Brenton Honor along the outer wing. Schneebickler underneath that one with Rogers. Now Lunn. The ball was thrown out by Jarvis. He was looking for Valenti. Valenti couldn't quite control the handball, and it's out of play. We've had now just on 24 minutes into the first term. 2 goals to South Adelaide, 14 points. 2 goals to the Warriors, 14, so it's dead heat.
Rogers to contest with Schneebickler. Fuller tried to come over the top. The ball comes out towards, that appeared to be Menzel. Harris picks the ball up. He kicks across goal. Dickinson there with Panizza. Dickinson with the spoil. Now the ball's picked up by Lynch. His handball went out to Panizza. It turned Panizza to Rogers. Being harassed by Valenti. In there the new boy in Lambert. Now the ball pushed forward. Alex Lund back there. And we'll have another throw. And in fact, it's gone out of bounds on the full. So untidy work by the Woodville side. Now the ball driven in long again. Schneebickler up high at the back of the pack. It's Rogers. And he's quite content to paddle that ball over the line and concede a minor score and give the Panthers a 1-point advantage as we've just hit time on in this first quarter.
Williams will bring the ball back into play. That's Gary Williams. Tankasic, good mark. Plenty of pressure from Stazanowski. Tankasic. His kick, however, was not a good one. Dickinson's first there for the Panthers. Off the ground was Templeton. Whitford first in the race for that ball. He head straight for the line. He had to be a little bit careful there. It certainly was a deliberate out of play. The umpires are giving players the benefit today with a slippery ball. Michael Wilson, boundary umpire, brings it back into play. Good throw. Dewhurst tripped at the crucial stage, tackled strongly, should have been holding the ball. He had plenty of opportunity to dispose of that. I think we could nearly say that may be the first error of the day from the umpires.
You're a hard man, Dave.
No, to be fair, they've done a good job today. Baker down. Dewhurst out to Kapler running, left foot forward, familiar. Wide on the lead is Steckel. Big fellow has the mark. He couldn't possibly score a goal from there. The angle is very acute, and I think with a wet ball, the distance would be out of range. He can lob it right in the goal square, however. That's exactly what he's done. He's given it a real opportunity. Schneebichler's underneath that one. Taken off the pack by Pittman. He claimed the goal, but the umpire said he was across the line before the kick had taken place. And Mark Pittman claims a point.
Almost appears to have some war paint on his face. He's obviously landed in some mud. It'll be Gary Williams, a former Glenelg player, to bring the ball back into play. Minute gone of time on. Williams decides to go to the outer side this time, looking for Big Max. Oh, Baker, fine mark, 2 grabs. Plays on quickly, the handball over towards the running Dewhurst. He should kick this, the kick's on its way. The umpire doesn't move, it's through the middle. That's Dewhurst's first goal. The Panthers move on to 3-4-22, leading the Warriors 2-2-14.
Well, that was great play from Big David Baker. He had the mark from the kick out. Ball was intended for Max Parker. Baker read it the better. Running player in Dewhurst off that half-forward flank. Ruck roving, wasn't attended to by any Woodville player. He ran clear 15 metres and was able to get his kick off, and it was a good one.
Elliott throws the ball up, the tap by Baker again. Pittman tried to get a kick away. In there is Eddie. He lost control of the ball, being harassed. Pittman in there again, looking for a free kick. Now fighting hard for the ball. And that's been adjudicated a dead heat. It'll be umpire Ross Campbell to throw the ball up, I would imagine. That's exactly what he does. Parker with the tap this time. A fumble by Haylock. Now a quick handball to Toomey. Toomey took a while to get rid of that ball. It's up high. Back there is Bennett. He couldn't control that. Should have taken that chest mark. In there is Kapler working hard for his side, picking up a lot of kicks, but that's misdirected, and it's been taken by Alex Lunn. Very solid customer, Lunn. Taylor up high, couldn't control it. Toomey stole it away from his teammate, then fed the handball out towards Haylock. That kick smothered. Fuller in there, 3-on-1. He's met solidly by Whitford. Jarvis to Bennett. On towards Pittman. He's working hard on this game. Got around his opponent. He's well pressured. There's been a high tackle, and the free kick will go the way of the former Central District player in Mark Pittman.
Behind play, Brent Nonner's lost a boot. Just as well, Pittman, because he was going to handball to Honor, and Honor slipped over as he hit the glue pot. No Spriggs in his boot. Poor kick. Dickinson overran the ball. Panizza read it beautifully. Short to Schwarz. Schwarz at right half forward. We'll have a little bit of time to dispose of this one. He goes deep to the goal square. Underneath that one, Taylor. From behind it, Sniggles. Thumped away from him by Pittman. Hewitt picks up the ball. He gets away a quick kick, but the siren has gone here at Adelaide Oval. The 27.5-minute mark of the final term. South Adelaide, 3 goals, 4-22. Have done it well in the first term. Woodville, 2 goals, 2-14.
The results of the home match with South Adelaide. White colour ticket, number 1265. Number 1265. You may pick up your prize from a promotion team. I'll repeat number 1265.
Start of the second quarter here at Adelaide Oval. It's South Adelaide leading by 8 points. Menzel's got 2, Dewhurst 1 for the Panthers. And for the Warriors, it's Templeton and Martin. As the ball comes down into the glue pot, Pittman tried to pick it up. He was tackled strongly. He didn't give up without a fight, however, and he's won a ball up. Covered in mud, Pittman. Certainly a player who will enjoy these conditions today. Baker and Parker and ruck. Baker it was with the tap, went down looking in the direction of Fuller. He got off the handball to Schwarz. Schwarz forward. Now Taylor did it well. High into the forward line. Underneath that one was Stephen Nichols. Now Brooksby handballs backwards, concedes ground to Hewitt. Left foot around the corner. Dickinson underneath that one. Good mark taken by Panizza for the Warriors. Played a good quarter of football in the opening quarter, Panizza. Kick is high into the forward zone. Nichols was up, so too Taylor. Neither of them could mark it. Now Ron Fuller tries to burst his way through. Bennett in defence. Good work, however, by Stephen Nichols. Has kept the ball in the air, and that's what the Warrior forwards have done all day. In fact, both forwards have done a very good job. It's not going to be a high-scoring game for that matter. Cleverly forward was a score. Just try and pick up who that was with the Pelé kick.
In fact, it was Michael Templeton, David, and he certainly does possess some rather unique skills. He's got a very quick mind. Brooksby to bring the ball back into play. Philip Brooksby kicks out wide, looking for Hewitt over the head of that player, but he's first to recover. Play on advantage, and Hewitt takes advantage of that situation as he drives long. Schnabikla lost front position. In there is Menzel trying to paddle the ball forward. Now it's a long handball in the direction of Eddie. The umpire got in the way. That allows Rogers to clear for the Warriors. Drives high, but it's been well intercepted there by Brockhurst. Brockhurst spears out a pass. Rogers couldn't control it. Stolen by Schnabikla. His handball in the direction of Steckel. Players lose their footing in these slippery conditions. Stacks on the mill. Williams in there fighting hard, but we'll have a bounce about 45 metres out from the South Adelaide goal.
Kim, that's what I was referring to earlier. Both sides in their forward zone have been able to dive desperately on the ball. They're not going to give it out easily. Pittman couldn't get the handball away, and there again, Munn applied the tackle. Both teams very, very desperate. It hasn't been pretty flowing football, but it certainly has been very desperate. It's a free kick, Pittman's way. It's within scoring distance too. Couldn't quite see what that was for, but the umpire has obviously seen an infringement. Mark Pittman, he hasn't scored a goal today, the former Central District player. Covered in mud, just gives himself an opportunity of cleaning up. 45 metres out, the angle is only slight. Distance shouldn't be a problem. It's going to be, however. He'll drop that right to the point of the square. Stazanovsky was first there. Rogers picked up the ball for the Warriors, heads towards the boundary line, and that's where the ball finishes, across the line and out of play. That just on 4 minutes, 22 South Adelaide, 15 the Warriors.
And Andrew Rogers certainly does think he's got a good football brain. Goes about his work in a very workmanlike fashion. Steckel front position, down towards Schwarz. Tried to get a quick kick, couldn't do so. Now it's in there, the handball. The ball comes out towards Parker. Parker drives long towards the outer wing, looking for Templeton. Couldn't find that player. The ball goes out of the line, over the line, right in front of the Victor Richardson gates. Once again, it'll be Baker and Parker. Parker manages to get front position. Baker got his hand to that. A free kick has been picked out then. It'll go the way of Templeton. He plays on quickly. Over towards Panizza. He certainly has a turn of speed. It's a wobbly kick forward. It's out in the direction of Sewer. He's being harassed there by Brockhurst. Ball picked up by Nichols. It's a high kick underneath it. Toomey. So too was Eddie. Nearly took a courageous mark. Once again, players in there working very hard to gain possession. As Brendan Honor, and we'll pick up that player, Chris Toomey, are the last to get off the turf.
David Elliott officiating in his first league game. Bounces the ball. Taylor took it off the pack. On to Toomey. Kick under pressure. Wide. Bennett's first there. Kicks it off the ground. Now Pittman an opportunity. Again under pressure. Harris did the tackling work. John Martin can line up the goals. Instead he handballs over the top to Schwarz. Schwarz will go in turn to Templeton. He tries to run around Brooksby. Gave it back to Schwarz. Lines up the goal. Offline. Well, that deserved better, the Warriors. They worked hard for a shot at goals. They got within 5 metres and blasted away. Through for one behind.
Well, I don't know if they worked hard or made hard work of that, David. It was one of the two. Certainly was an opportunity that they've missed out on. Ball brought in by Brockhurst. He's an extremely long kick of the ball. His kick found Brenton Honor, who took a fine chest mark. If you can get front position, that might be the way to go in these slippery conditions. Honor's kick towards the wing. Up high there's Tankasick, and that's a fine mark. It's his second mark for the day. Drives back in long. Taylor in there. Strong body work with Whitford. The ball picked up by Nichols. Had to evade several players. Now a long sweeping handball to Schwarz. Schwarz in turn back to the captain. Parker sidesteps beautifully. Left foot kick on the way. What a magnificent goal by Max Parker. The captain shows them the way. That's his first goal. He posts Woodville's third. They move on to 3-4, 20. In fact, 22 points. The scoreboard's playing tricks. South Adelaide 3-4-22, locked away.
Oh, and that was a great captain's goal. That's just what the Warriors needed. Max did it the hard way. Certainly worked for that one, and a left foot snap went truly. He's brought the scores up to being level yet again.
Centre field. Once again, it's Baker opposed to Parker. Baker won the tap. Jarvis in there. Now picked up by Kappa. That's kick is smothered. Sewer, strong body work. Lunn in there trying to feed out a handball. Valenti. Kapler again around his body. Stazanowski, or Stazanowski as he prefers to be called. And I would imagine he would know. After all, it is his name.
I think he might, Kim. So Stazza.
That might be the easy way out.
I think it might be. 25 metres out, directly in front. In fact, it might even be a little bit further than that. It might be 30 metres out, 35 perhaps. As Stazza shapes up to tie up the bootlaces. Do what you like when you've got the football.
Actually, David, just look at the way he tied his lace up then. That's most interesting. He didn't put it underneath his sprigs like most players do. He just tied it up like a sand chute.
Kim Dillon's football trivia segment. But a very interesting point. Lines him up. It certainly helped. It's got there too. Stazza's got it. That's his first. South Adelaide's fourth. They go to 4 goals, 4-28. The Warriors 3-4-22.
Well, maybe everyone should tie their boots up like that. It certainly doesn't affect his kicking. Just have a look at the way the laces are bouncing around on his boots there. He certainly is an accurate kick, though. He knows where the goals are. It was a fine diving mark. So South Adelaide showing today that they're going to fight this one out right to the wire like in previous weeks.
Baker got the tap down. Sewer couldn't control it. Neither could Valenti. Harris out of the mud he went, looking for John Martin. Now Kapler, quick kick under pressure. Stazanowski's after that one. Stazanowski. He's disappointed with himself. Lynch was the opposing player, and the throw-in will take place at grandstand wing. Max Parker will do the ruck work. David Baker for the Panthers. Parker got into Baker's back. No free kick. Kapler tried to burst his way through. Now Sewer desperately trying to gather in the ball. He did it well. Valenti wasn't letting him get away with it. Good work by both players on that occasion has forced the ball up.
About a dozen players around this bounce of the ball. Slightly awkward bounce that favoured Parker. His kick went straight to Jarvis. Jarvis' kick went right along the ground, but it was well taken by Baker. Eddie's in a lot of trouble. Smothered by Parker again. Plenty of pressure out there, that's for sure. It's not easy to get a clearing kick. And eventually Kevin Harris taps that ball over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in on the grandstand wing, and it'll be Parker and Baker again.
10 minutes into the second term. 6 points the margin. The Panthers have the lead. Vital game for them. They've had a couple of close ones. 4 points to Norwood 2 weeks ago. 8 points to Port Adelaide last week. This one's already turning into a fight to the finish. The feature of the game has been the desperation displayed by both sides. They haven't allowed either side to get a running game developed. Baker from the front got the ball down. John Martin knocks it forward. Kapler tackle when not in possession. So too was Toomey, no free kick. The umpires are letting the play flow. Fortunately, Valenti came out with the ball, tackled strongly by Parker, and that's been the way the game's been going all day, and the crowd appreciates and gives applause to fine, desperate football.
In fact, that was Harris with the tap then. He was just about to call the Baker would win that one, but the little fella Kevin Harris, with fine judgment, smashed that one over the boundary line.
Well, he's in everything, Kim. You can't keep him out of it. He's like salt and pepper.
Baker again. Parker over the top. There he is, salt and pepper himself. Streams through the half-forward line, drives in long. Nichols could shepherd or take the big leap. I think he shepherded. Well, he got on the back of Phil Brooksby. Brooksby couldn't get a hand to the ball, and that's gone straight through and has as David Mackay mentioned, this man, Kevin Harris, is in absolutely everything. You can't keep him out of the game. What a magnificent goal. Woodville 4-4-28. Tie the scores here at Adelaide Oval. South 4-4 as well.
That's the second time this term scores have been locked together. Max Parker did the work previously. That time it was left to Kevin Harris. He burst his way through beautifully. Good shepherding in the goal square by Nichols. Saw a Woodville goal.
Baker up high. Jarvis in there. Oh, getting in quickly was Harris again. Paddles the ball forward. Can't quite control it. Certainly is slippery in the centre there. Now the ball comes back towards Harris. He drives in again. This time he finds Nichols right on the chest. Well, the Woodville players are lifting their work rate. They're lifting their eyes. They're starting to find their target. Valenti policing the mark. And Nichols should be able to kick it. We saw John Menzel easily make the distance in the first quarter from a similar position. Nichols easily one of the best kicks in South Australian football, but he's dragged that one, managed to get the distance. So the Warriors lead by a point at the 12-minute mark of this second quarter.
3 points to Nichols. The boot's not working for him today. Brooksby from full back. Plays towards the outer side. Whitford's there for South Adelaide. Taylor couldn't take it. Jarvis picks up the ball. Long with the left foot forward. Lunn. Mark. Good mark, Alex Lunn. Reliable defender. The Warriors go forward again. They've done most of the attacking this term. Taylor from behind. He's got it. The umpire's played it. That's a good mark in these conditions, Taylor. He's had a few high flies, and that one he brought down with him. And at the true centre-half forward position, Taylor will go back and take a shot at goal. He's going for a big screwy. Distance won't be there in the goal square. Nichols mark. The Warriors certainly have lifted their work rate. Taylor with a great mark. Now Stephen Nichols, a lucky mark. Just out of the goal square. 15 metres out. The angle is very slight with 3 points on the board. You'd nearly say he couldn't possibly miss this, and he hasn't. Right through the middle, his first for the day. In fact, that's his first for a couple of weeks. He'll be pleased that one went through.
This is a fine goal. A little bit of luck favouring the Woodville side there. That kick from Taylor wasn't good, but Stephen Nichols, he read the situation well and took a fine chest mark and posted a goal from 15 metres out. And Woodville now move on to 35 points, leading South Adelaide 28.
3 goals this term to the Warriors. 1 to South Adelaide, and that was Stazanowski who bagged that one. So the Warriors have wrestled the initiative away from the Panthers. Neither ruckman could get a tap out. Schwartz onto Haylock. Short it went. John Martin, quick kick forward. They've done that well, and there's Taylor coming into the game at centre-half forward. Let's see if we can see take 2. He now goes for a drop punt kick. Long into the forward zone. Brooksby's there, off hands through for one behind, and that was a prodigious kick from the centre-half forward of the Warriors.
Well, young Whitford certainly has his hands full now. Oh, Brooksby nearly went over the line. Just managed to apply the brakes. Taylor lifting his game. Brooksby this time he decides to go to the grandstand wing. Parker front position, couldn't quite get there. Desperate work by Christie, who's come onto the ground. In fact, play on call by umpire Elliott. The ball comes out towards Pittman. Quick handball out towards Stazanowski. He's flanked there by Dewhurst. The ball finally goes over the top towards Eddie. He's under pressure. Dewhurst there, so too is Lynch. Lynch taps the ball back, but he's won a free kick. Play on the call, another play on advantage. This time it's Lane over towards Tankasic. Tankasic out wide to Sewer. He keeps his footing as usual. He's got tremendous balance, Sewer. Drives in long. Nichols from behind. Ball comes to ground. Bennett read it well. Out towards Christie. Over the head of that player. Taps the ball forward. Trying to keep possession. In their heart is Nichols again. Eventually that ball goes over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in the left forward pocket for the Warriors.
We've certainly got a game on our hands. South Adelaide led by 8 points at quarter time. It's now 8 points the margin to the Warriors. So seesawing battle this game. Toomey gathers the ball off the pack. Could he line him up? Couldn't make the distance. Whitford out of defence. The handball was wide to Pittman and out of play. Just remarking, Kim, how this game has seesawed. Neither side giving the other an inch, but Warriors down by 8 points at quarter time, now back in front by 8.
Christie, Parker with the tap down towards Schwartz. Got a quick kick. Oh, Brooksby looking for a free kick. He took the mark anyway. Back towards the grandstand side, kicks out to the wing, looking for Pittman. He's bundled over. Haylock tried to take a mark whilst lying on the ground. Stazanowski back there, placed his teammate under pressure. The ball goes over the boundary line, and there'll be a throw in. Certainly is a fiery customer, Stazanowski. He doesn't mind having a few words or throwing the arms around a bit.
David Elliott there, officiating his first game, can sort out the big fellows. Max Parker covered in mud. Christie, the long sleeve Guernsey for South Adelaide. Christie it was with the tap. To ground it goes. Bursting his way through strongly on that occasion was Templeton. Nichols couldn't gather it in. Swartz strongly through the pack. He committed his body beautifully. Might even be a little hurt, Swartz. Certainly gave the body commitment when it was required. Didn't shirk the issue. Appears just to be a little winded. Elliott with the ball. He'll bounce in that section of the ground. Dry enough to bounce. Big thump away came from Whitford. Down to Haylock. Snaps around his body. Lines up the goals. It's coming around. Has it gone through? It has. Great snap to Haylock. The Little Rovers first. The Warriors advance to 6 goals, 6. 42 now running away from the Panthers. 4-4-28.
Well, Haylock read that play magnificently. We mentioned earlier in the game how he manages to pick up a lot of possessions. This time it was up forward. Made room for himself, really powered that ball through the goals, and it was a fine right foot snap to post his first goal.
Behind play, Stazanowski still going on with that little battle with Robbie Lynch. I don't think either of those players are too concerned about the odd bruise. Christie with the tap. Schneebeckler strongly through. Intercepted by Templeton. Pack develops and a ball up will take place, and David Elliott quite rightly telling the players to hit the ball out of that mud.
Actually, David, I was looking at Stazanowski only a few moments before you mentioned that, and he's like the Muhammad Ali of football. He keeps talking to his opponent. He just doesn't let up. This time it's his opponent, though, who wins the honours because he punches the ball forward. Intercepted by Eddie. In there is Bennett. Players diving on top of the ball, and in fact, Hewitt's won himself a free kick for being at the bottom of that pack. Plays on quickly. Darryl Hewitt playing out of a back pocket today. Normally a run-on player. Schneebeckler spoiled that. In there is Ron Taylor, who's onto the ground. Robbie Lynch over the top of that. Taylor ends up with the ball. He certainly has some pace. And umpire David Elliott called that a dead heat as Ron Taylor tried to tap that ball forward. Christie with the tap. Also a free kick. He plays on quickly. That was over the shoulder. It's taken by David Kapler. Drives long, but a fine mark taken there by Gary Williams.
Williams has played well in defence for the Warriors today. First game back in the seniors for some time. He's been enjoying his game. Fuller had the ball thumped away from him. Haylock tried to shoot off the handball. Jarvis intercepted. Handballed in turn longer to Dickinson, who's tackled strongly by Panizza. Now Jarvis in support, the left foot towards the point of the goal square. Underneath that one's Rogers. He couldn't quite take it. Now Schneebeckler, can he kick it off the ground? Rogers there desperately keeps the ball in the area. He's disappointed in himself, Rogers, that he didn't take the mark, but certainly in his defence, he backed up quickly and held the ball in the area and didn't allow the South forwards a shot at goal. Steckel got boot the ball, has it gone through? It's a miraculous goal he has. He took it straight off the ruck, palmed it down to his boot and shot it right through the middle. That's a great goal to the big fellow, and it certainly shows great skills.
It certainly did. That was an incredible goal. He never tried to actually take possession of that ball. He palmed it down with his right hand, put it straight to his right boot, and it just trickled through for a goal. So that's fine play by the South Adelaide forward. That's his first goal, and South Adelaide move on to 5-4-34, trailing the Warriors 6-6-42.
John Menzel has 2 for South Adelaide. Dewhurst, Steckel and Stazanowski, the other goal scorers. The Warriors have 6 individual goal scorers. Haylock, Templeton, Nichols, Harris, Martin. So an even distribution of goals for the Warriors. Christie, front position. Parker from behind. Panizza, wide to the runner in Templeton. He's done well today in this mud. Whitford overran the ball. Seward picks it up. He can have a shot at goal. That's the way he heads. He's a dangerous kick when he gets the ball. Seward's coming around. Not quite enough. Through for one behind for Ralph, and certainly a goal would have been well deserved on that occasion.
Well, that was vintage Seward, the one-handed pick up, a couple of zips and zaps, then driving long for goal. Unfortunately, no accuracy. But by geez, a dangerous player still as Brooksby kicks to the grandstand side. Parker In fact, Christie was his target. Parker got his hand in there, and a quick handball taken by Kapler. Driving long, Stasinowski couldn't take that. Eddie off the ground. Back there is Rogers. Well tackled by Schneebichler. Eddie again off the ground, smothered by Lunn, and eventually that ball trickles over the boundary line. And Schneebichler having a lot of trouble getting clear of Andrew Rogers in these heavy conditions.
I think he'd have trouble getting clear of Andrew Rogers in any conditions. Certainly no longer an underrated player, Andrew Rogers. I think the South Australian football public really appreciate his skills. Menzel, Stasinowski under pressure from Lynch. That's been a great battle today, those two players. Neither giving the other an inch, or is it 3 centimetres? Ball will come back into play. The boundary umpire, David Adams. They certainly cover some ground, those boundary umpires. Parker, Christie stole the ball. He pushed it forward, looking for Menzel. Intercepting was Lunn on that occasion for the Warriors, and Lunn pushes the ball across the line and out of play, about 25 metres around from the attacking zone for the South Adelaide side.
Well, there'll be a few players out there out to prove their worth. One of them would be Ron Taylor. Certainly hasn't been able to show any consistency since changing clubs, and the other one would be this man at the bottom of the pack, Christie. He's got a point to prove. He's put in some Herculean efforts over the years for South Adelaide in the ruck when he hasn't had any support, and now he's found himself in the reserves after David Baker, who is waiting to come onto the ground, has done so well for his new club.
Yes, well, Baker is preparing to come on, so Christie hasn't had much of a run at it. They've used Baker consistently for most of the time. Tankasek has played well since coming onto the Oval. Shot off the handball to Templeton, in turn to Martin, in turn it finally finishes up wide there with Craig Lambert forward. Hewitt marked, well done. You waste no time, Hewitt plays on quickly through the centre, he goes on the left foot. Dickinson shepherded it out, Panizza well. Now Pittman covering plenty of ground. Sells the dummy, ducked under that one. Dickinson under pressure, holding the ball. Play on, the umpire called. Harris, those stumpy little legs out of the mud. Forward to Sewer. Sewer has the run of the ball. It sits up nicely for him. He evades Brockhurst well. He tripped over under pressure. A couple of zaps. He did it before. He holds onto the ball until he can dispose of it. Not well placed. Looking there for Panizza. He was tackled, pushed in the back when not in possession. Panizza has the free kick. Now Daryl Panizza, recruited from Western Australia this year. He's been a good player for the Warriors. 50 metres out. I think the distance will be a little bit beyond him. It's a nice kick. He puts it up high to the goal square. It goes. From behind it was Nichols. Couldn't take the mark. Pack develops. Taylor jumps on top of the ball. Pushes it across the line and through for one behind. So the Warriors advance now to 6 goals, 8, 44. 10 points clear of South Adelaide, 5-4, 34.
And Daryl Panizza is certainly the form wingman of this South Australian competition, without any doubt, as Brooksby once again comes to the grandstand side. In there is Kapler, spoiled there by Martin. Ball comes out towards, it's been stolen by Kevin Harris. Front on approach to goal. He's posted his second goal, and the Warriors move on to 7, 8, 50 points, leading South Adelaide 5-4, 34. Magnificent play, Kevin Harris.
Yes, it is. We've said it all before. He's in everything today. Conditions ideal for him. In fact, he plays well in any conditions, Kevin Harris. His second goal, though, certainly a timely one. It's just allowed the Warriors to step away a little bit from the plucky Panthers. 2 goals to him, and the Warriors now have 5 goals this term. The Panthers have only 1.
Centre field, and the Panthers need a quick reply. Baker back in the ruck, tapped it down towards Jarvis. He couldn't control it. Players jump on top. The handball came out from Haylock. In there is Schwarz trying to burst his way through the pack. Parker towards Fuller. Fuller's been quiet today. Finally gets a kick away out towards Sewer, and that's the value of Ron Fuller. His use of the ball. Sewer should be able to make the distance. Drives long. The accuracy's there as well. So it's 2 quick goals. Sewer's first goal. And the Warriors now march on to 8-8-56, leading South 5-4, 34.
There's 22 points now the margin. The Warriors have got their running game going. Even out of that glue pot centre, they're using the ball well. Their hand skills are very, very good in close range. It's allowed them to get out of that centre for the last 4 occasions. They've pushed the ball forward. They've given their forwards every opportunity to score goals, and the Warrior forwards haven't let them down.
The Panthers must score in this time on period to stay in touch. Baker again. This time it was Parker, though. Kapler kicks off the ground. Parker tries to do the same. Fuller again, but there's been a kicking in danger infringement. The ball will go the way of Max Eddy. Eddie kicks that ball, which is absolutely full of mud. That's why it went straight through Alex Lunn's hands. He dives on top, though, to make up for that, and he's done it well as it goes out towards Toomey. Kicks around his body. Fuller takes a mark. Peniza's got a paddock. The ball goes out in that direction. Now Peniza will have the use of Martin. He decides to use that player with a long handball. Martin can drive long. He thought about the handball. Now he puts it in long. Back there is, oh, gee, that was nearly a courageous mark by Taylor. He appealed to the umpire. The ball has been forced over the line for another minor score.
Yes, you're right, Jim. Courageous mark, almost taken on that occasion. It's the value of a forward who's prepared to commit himself. You only have to take one or two of those and they really get the side going. Not that the Warriors aren't moving it along at the moment. Toomey has the mark. And Toomey's stats don't show that he's played a good game, but he's certainly done some very heavy bullocking work. He pushes the ball forward. Taylor on the lead. It's over his head. Nichols around one player, snaps at goal. Over the head of Templeton, hit the post. Well, he deserved better on that occasion. He sidestepped a couple of South Adelaide players, gave himself just enough space. The kick, however, unfortunately for him, hit the base of the post, one behind.
This time it's Bennett who brings the ball back into play. Out looking for Baker, it's Parker who's spoiled. He's got to get around a few opponents. He managed to do it to one. Back to Toomey. Toomey's kick to an unprotected goal. It bounces across the face of goal. Hewitt leads in chase. And I think he'll be quite content to kick this ball. Oh, in fact, he's kicked it to Dickinson. Now they're under pressure. In fact, they're under plenty of pressure as Dickinson is caught holding the ball.
Oh, well, Kim, that was a fantastic tackle. Peniza held him by the wrist and then the scruff of the jumper and lifted him up. He couldn't possibly dispose of that ball. As good a tackle as I've ever seen. Peniza has a shot at goal. It's swinging around. Could it go through? Not quite. Just inside the post, 1 point. Would have been a great goal had he got that one. And he certainly deserved it with that tackle. It was a gem.
27.5 minutes into this second quarter. The Warriors doing all the attacking. Brooksby changes direction out to the outer side. Oh, a big leap there by Menzel. Taylor front position, harassed by two South players. Harris in there. So too is Schwarz, taken by Templeton. That kick around his body. They're centering the ball well, this Woodville side. In there, it's taken by Haylock. The handle over to Sewer. One way, then the other. That could be another goal. It is Ralphie Sewer's second goal. And this Woodville side have absolutely gone berserk since the 18-minute mark of this quarter. They have now kicked 9 goals, 11, 65 points, and they're absolutely streeting South Adelaide, who are on 5-4-34.
Ralph Sewer has their last 2 goals, and he's dangerous when he gets the ball in that forward zone. There were 2 South Adelaide players right on top of him, and he has that ability to run very quickly backwards and sideways, hence the nickname Zip Zap. And he used that to absolute perfection. Lined up goal number 2 for Ralph, and now the Warriors are doing it very easily.
This Woodville side mesmerising their opponents. Baker decided to grab that one, took possession. The handball out to Pittman was good. He had a fumble and Schnabikla takes a mark. Trying to move the ball in quickly to catch their forwards, one out. Back there was Menzel, couldn't control it. Lunn back there, so too is Dickinson, but the free kick's been given. And it'll go the way of Alex Lunn. Well, that could be the last opportunity for the Panthers in this quarter. They've got loose men. Rogers is one of them. Eddie gives away 15 metres. And I tell you what, that won't concern Rogers at all, as they had time on their side. Now the handball from Haylock. Over towards the newcomer there in Lambert. His kick around his body. And a fine marks there being taken by the back pocket player, Darryl Hewitt.
He's taken a couple of good marks today, Hewitt. One-hander in the first term was a gem. Onto the left foot to Eddie. Eddie's kick is a wobbly one. Alex Lunn first there for Warriors. Puts his body in well. He hit Dickinson off the ball. Jarvis picked it up onto Dewhurst. Now the Panthers have an opportunity at goal. Dewhurst heads that way. Schnabikler's dropping back. Rogers the big thump away right to the boundary line. Peniza can keep it in if he's good enough. He's not quite, well, he's good enough, but the ball beat him anyway. Out of play. That was a good punch forward by Rogers. He had nowhere else to go. Panthers were looking dangerous. They've only got 1 goal this quarter, South Adelaide. Dickinson tackled, holding the ball. He had plenty of opportunity to dispose of it. Tankasick playing well. Quickly plays on. Peniza, another kick. Short. He's looking for Schwarz. It's just a little bit wide for that player, however. No, he has the mark. So Schwarz will go back and take the kick.
31 minutes gone. And it's the Warriors with a 31-point advantage. And that's a fine mark by Andrew Taylor. Majestic leap through the air. Certainly working hard in this second quarter. Andrew Taylor of old. As he drives in long, back there Brockhurst. So too is Sewer, but it's Bennett who allows that ball to go over the boundary line. There could only be seconds remaining in this second quarter. And it's been a fine quarter for the Warriors.
Well, with the way the ball is, it's like a cake of soap. I'm surprised that Andrew Taylor was able to hold that one, but there's been a couple of fine marks today, even considering the condition of the ball. Haylock taking a note out of Sewer's notebook. Got the handball back. It was a goal, but the umpire had already called it. So that one to Stephen Nichols not going to count. He's a bit disappointed too. Aren't all full forwards when they don't get them. South Adelaide, 5 goals, 4-34. Trail the Warriors, 9 goals, 11-65. And that quarter was all the Warriors.
A 7-goal second quarter by the Warriors sees them with a 31-point advantage at the start of this third quarter. Umpire Elliott throws the ball up in the air. Fuller with a quick kick away. In there is Templeton. Appears to have changed his boots. Either that or he's washed them at half time. Parker with the ball over towards Harris. Harris with a shot at goal. It looks... Oh, in fact, it looked good, but it wasn't good. It just drifted offline, so it's a minor score. So the Warriors have picked up where they left off, and they're straight back into attack.
Yes, the Warriors certainly did all the attacking during that second term. They kicked 7 goals. South Adelaide could only manage 2. Max Parker with the handball short. Pittman, Brenton Honor. Honor's kick around the body wasn't well directed. In fact, it's gone out of bounds on the full in the outer wing, just in front of the Victor Richardson gates. Dragon Tankasic will be the player, take the free kick. He's played well since coming onto the field midway through the first term. James Fantasia was taken off and Tankasic came on, and he's been a very effective player. Toomey threw that ball away to Schwartz under pressure from Dickinson. He had to get away a quick handball. Finally it came out long from Parker to Panizza, on to Tankasic, short handball. John Martin, Ron Fuller, chips wide. Losing his footing on that occasion was Ralph Sewer, and it allowed Brockhurst to come in and mark.
Brockhurst plays on with a handball to Bennett. He put him right under the hammer. They're lucky to get out of that, the Panthers. It was poor football as Whitford kicks that ball to the centre of the ground where Hewitt appears to be having a run on the ball. Hewitt kicks out wide looking for Schneebeckler, and he takes a fine mark, running the wrong way. That'll lift his confidence. He's been a quiet player. Drives in long back there, an easy mark taken there by Robbie Lynch. Uncontested. Plays on with a handball to Lunn. Lunn in turn to Williams. Williams with a short pass over towards the new player in Lambert, Craig Lambert. First game player, he drives long. Out there looking for Parker. Max nearly took a one-hander. Toomey in there, pressured by Brenton Honor. The ball's still in play, and eventually it goes over the line just in front of John Martin.
Kim talking about Max Parker. He's had a fine duel today with Big David Baker, the former Port Adelaide ruckman. He's certainly an improved player, Baker.
Oh, Baker, well, he was a good player for Port Adelaide, David, but the opportunities didn't come his way due to the fact that they had Russell Johnson and in the early years Dexter Kennedy.
Fuller it is with the kick forward. Deep into the forward zone. Taylor tried to take a one-hander. He grabbed Jarvis when not in possession. Jarvis should have won himself a free kick, or he could have won himself a free kick, and that's the desperation which Andrew Taylor has gone, and he's pulled Michael Whitford and the ball right over the top of him.
David, just getting back to the ruckman, interesting to note that Parker hasn't had a spell off the ball, and they've got Libbers on the bench, whereas South Adelaide are using Christie and Baker.
Yes, that's true. Bennett it is with the kick forward. No one home for either side. Lunn it was who tried to gather in the ball. Now Toomey quickly forward. Clean bowled was Hewitt. Now an opportunity for Honor. Forward he goes to the outer side. Underneath that one is Valenti. He couldn't mark it. Lambert couldn't control it either for the Warriors. Now through the blue plot they come. Pittman has the mark. He'll play on through Sinar forward. He can straighten up, line up the goals. He's running his full 15 metres. He chips away at goals. It's coming back, but not quite far enough. Off to the right and through for one behind. 5 goals, 5-35. South Adelaide 9-12-66. The Warriors, so there's now a 21-point margin.
Well, Pittman flirted with danger then. That was a good 15 metres. Accuracy wasn't there. It's Williams again. drives long. That's a good kick down the centre of the ground, but it's inaccurate. Pittman's there. He got distance, but couldn't pick out a teammate. Now Pittman kicks out wide. The lead there by Stazanowski. The mark, nearly taken by Steckel. No one at the front of the pack. This allows Alex Lund to kick to the outer wing. He puts it out in front of Toomey. Toomey nearly with an LBW decision there as the ball hit him in the shins. Now the front to Fuller. Back towards Panizza. Panizza drives long, looking for Taylor, and he'll take that mark. A fine mark in front of Whitford as the sun shines here at Adelaide Oval. Taylor across goal, looking for Nichols. He couldn't control it, but there's a free kick being picked out. An infringement against Haylock, and the ball will go back towards Andrew Brockhurst.
One of the things the Warriors did in the first two terms was keep the ball in their forward zone well, but they're giving it away a little bit easily at this stage. The third term, Ron Fuller mark. Martin and Hewitt were underneath the ball, and Ron Fuller at the back took a pretty easy chest mark in the finish. He holds the ball and waits for a lead. Haylock was his target. He used his body well, Haylock. Ron Taylor picked up the ball and threw it away. Now he uses his pace to try and evade a tackle. He did that well. Taylor's been struggling for form in recent weeks. Rogers under the ball. Steve Bickler strongly. Tankasick courageously through. Short to Harris. Mark. He plays short. On the lead, Toomey. Toomey has the mark. Back play on called down by mine. I thought he marked it. He put his body in well, and he got two bites of the cherry. No matter, David Baker with the ball for South Adelaide. Plenty of space to move in. Dickinson, the runner, uses pace well. Short he goes, looking for Steckel. Courageously, Dewhurst. He couldn't quite gather it. Now Tankasick applies the tackle. The ball is now out of play. So a good passage of play for the Panthers as they brought the ball from back line to the forward line. Dragon Tankasick and Craig Dewhurst just having words.
And one fellow I wouldn't grapple with is Dragon Tankasick. I saw him do about 60 chin-ups behind his head one night down at Torrens when he was there.
And that was for warm-up.
Anyone that's done chin-ups behind their head would know how much strength that takes. It's the snapshot by Hewitt around his body. The mark's been taken by Stazanowski. It's like a shark lurking there up in the forward lines. That's one goal to date. Menzel leads the goal kicking for the Panthers. He kicked two in the first quarter. Stazanowski 5 metres out, bangs through his second goal, so the Panthers are back with a goal, the first time they've scored since the 20-minute mark of the second quarter. They now move on to 6 goals, 41 points. Woodville are on 9-12-66.
2 to John Menzel, 2 to Chris Stazanowski. He's a man who certainly knows where the goals are, Stazanowski. Lynch has the job of minding him. They'll certainly need him to be kicking more, but he's dangerous when the ball comes in quickly, and that's what the Panthers did on that occasion. They got it in quickly, and he didn't let them down.
Well, they'll have to string a few goals together, as Woodville did in the second half of that second quarter. Dead heat in the middle. Have a look at that mud. Panizza in there. Taylor appears to be playing on the wing, trying to take advantage of his pace. Hewitt reads the play well. Hamble out towards Taylor. Couldn't control it. Goes back in towards the pack. Working hard on the bottom of the ground. And Ron Taylor not known for his football in the wet. Certainly prefers the dry conditions. Well, that's been the pattern of his play in the past. Once again, players on top. And umpire David Elliott will have to, well, he may bounce here. He's in a little bit firmer turf. In fact, he does that, and it's a good bounce as well. Parker takes advantage of it with a magical tap down towards Schwarz. His kick out in the direction of Andrew Taylor. He's got the run of the ball, twists around beautifully. Snapshot on its way. It's going to go to the left of the goal. Back there is Nichols, but the line beats him and Brooksby, so it's another minor score. Woodville now move on to 9-13, South 6-5.
Kim, I've got to tell you, it was Kevin Harris who created space for Taylor on that occasion. He just shepherded his player out. He didn't even go near the ball and just created that 15-metre area in which Andrew Taylor was able to run in. So good work, Kevin Harris. Gave the Warriors another opportunity at goal. Bennett for South Adelaide onto the left foot, goes forward. Hewitt's underneath that one. He's taken a number of very good marks today, Hewitt. One in the first term, a beauty. One-hander, and another late in the second term was also a very good mark. Pittman had the run of the ball, now controls it. He got a free kick for being tackled too high as well, so he earned that one. He should waste very little time in pushing it wide. Dickinson on the lead, providing run. He goes on quickly. In the forward pockets, Lyndon Valenti, the handball over the top, back to Dickinson. He can line up the goals if he's quick enough. He's run down. Play on called the umpire. Rogers out of defence for the Warriors. He'll need to head towards the boundary line. He got away the handball. Now the ball is out of play. So Craig Lambert pushing the ball across the line. The former Paraka and Port Adelaide under-19 player now with the Warriors. Throw will take place 25 metres around from the point post in the attacking zone for the Panthers. Tankasick leads in the race for the ball, but yet again it's out of play. And Kim, I'm certainly impressed with the way some of the South Adelaide players move the ball when they bring it downfield quickly.
Yes, they've got some good running players. Unfortunately for them, Woodville have been first to the ball today. The big fist there by young Lambert. Woodville players working hard, pressure applied by Pittman, and the ball once again goes over the line on that outer side in the shadows of the magnificent trees here at Adelaide Oval. Certainly is a magnificent sporting arena as the ball comes to ground again. Pittman's worked hard all day. The free kick's been picked out. It'll go the way of Alex Lunn. Lunn tries to centre the ball. Goes straight towards Dickinson, couldn't control that. Tapped it between his legs. Fuller in there. Just got boot to ball. In there is Kapler. He got a quick kick away. Out the front of there is Steckel. The boundary line very close. And once again, it's the boundary line that beats the players. And that's happened quite a lot today.
Look, in the South Adelaide wingman and half-forward line haven't given Steckel much of an opportunity at that ball. They've run it in pretty well, but they haven't directed their foot passing towards him.
No, the big chap hasn't had a lot of opportunities. This time he does the ruck work. In there is Schwarz. Schwarz's kick comes back and it's found Dickinson. So maybe now the Panthers can post another goal on the board and give their supporters a little bit of hope in this game, which they let slip late in that second quarter. Dickinson, 45 metres out. It's a lovely looking kick. It's gone straight through and just made the distance. That's his first goal. So the Panthers have kicked 2 goals in this quarter. And they've moved on to 7-5, trailing Woodville 9-13.
Yes, it's a good start in this third term for South Adelaide. Rick Davies would be pretty keen to see his side kick another 2 or 3 quick ones. 47 plays 67. They're now 20 points down. They were 31 points down at the long break, and now they're coming back into this game.
Well, they're getting a lift in the middle. Hewitt's providing some run. He reads the play well. Parker gets the tap down towards Sewer. In there, Valenti. Valenti's brilliant handball towards Baker. Baker goes it alone. The big fella decides to have a kick. Out the direction, Tankasick is there. Picked up lovely by Dewhurst. Panthers into attack again. He kicks to an unprotected goal on the mark. Being taken by Stazanowski. Already has 2 goals. Chris Stazanowski. Fairly acute angle. He's only about 5 metres out. If we get technical, perhaps about 8 metres out. Normally a reliable kick, but he's pulled that one. It's a minor score. So Stazza can't improve on his personal tally, and that would have been very handy. It would have been 3 goals in 12 minutes. They've missed that opportunity. Let's see if they can get back in there and have another go.
Yes, Stazanowski plays the forward zone like a defender. He doesn't allow Backman to get easy kicks on him, and that's an advantage. Is just touching the ball as Livis is now onto the oval. He had to dive desperately at that. Of course, it's a free kick to the opposition if the ball is not touched before it goes out of play from a kick-off, and Livis, knowing that, dive desperately at the ball. Both Mark Ruckman misread that ball. Steckel tackled strongly by Lunn. Ball was held to him, said umpire David Elliott, and a ball up will take place. We've had just on 13 minutes into this third quarter. 48 plays 67, 19 points the margin. The Warriors have the lead. But South Adelaide aren't going to give up without a fight. The Warriors haven't goaled this term. South Adelaide have 2. Haylock's kick is high, under pressure from Valenti. Valenti rove the thump away. Now Bennett weaving his way through. Off to Whitford. Whitford under plenty of pressure, gets it to Steckel. Steckel put himself under pressure. Forward, Stazanowski over the head. Trying to burst his way through strongly on that occasion was John Menzel. And he's won himself a free kick for being held when not in possession. Already has 2 goals, both kicked in the first term, so this end of the field, certainly the favoured end. Mentioned earlier, has his left wrist heavily strapped, Menzel. 35 metres out. The angle is there for you to see. Has plenty of daylight between the posts. Distance won't be a problem. He'll just need a little bit of accuracy as he steers it right through the middle. It's a beautiful looking kick off the boot. He's a fine kick at goal, Menzel. That's 3 goals to him. In fact, he's kicked 3 goals straight.
And this is a good start to the South Adelaide side, who trail by 31 points at half-time. They've kicked 3 goals. Could have easily been 4 goals, and they've clawed themselves back into this game. And the crowd starting to warm up to this event here at Adelaide Oval.
13 points the difference. Couple of goals would be very handy. Back in ruck. Libas now onto the ground, replacing Parker, who's off for a rest. Hewitt drives forward. Rogers underneath that one, pressured from Schneebickler. Now Kapler, who's been quiet, finally lifting his work rate. Lambert off to Tankasic. They've combined well, those 2 players. Tankasic kick is well smothered on that occasion by Valenti, the other new player. Valenti was held as he went towards that ball. Lambert threw it out. Harris on in turn to Libas. The big fellow lumbers through the grease. Now Fuller handballs in front of himself. They've moved Hewitt into the centre to pick up Fuller. Sewer forward. Taylor up, and he's got another grab. He's getting away from Whitford. He's given away the ball, however. He was trying to push Whitford off. He thought he was getting too much pressure. In doing so, he elbowed Whitford right in the gob and has given away a free kick. Libas, good mark. Big fella's providing some life. Max Parker was getting a little bit tired, so they decided to unleash Libas. Forward to Taylor. Whitford punched the ball clear. There's been a push in the back, however, and it's going the way of Brett and Honor. 54, play 67, 13 points the margin. Honor off his half-back flank. Through half forward he goes. Dewhurst first run at the ball. He taps it forward, looking for Pittman. Pittman couldn't control the ball, and it's out of play deep in the half-forward zone in South Adelaide's attacking area.
16 minutes gone in this third quarter. Baker and Eddie just had a little trot along the boundary line. Perhaps there could be a move coming as Christie taps that ball straight down towards Fuller. His kick away out the direction there of Toomey it is. The mark's been paid. Toomey's played on. He's run around the mark. Now he drives in long. Taylor's his target again. Couldn't get a hand to that one. Being harassed there by Whitford. Picked up by Brockhurst. This time at South Adelaide have lifted their work rate. The handball from Fuller out towards Templeton. Templeton swings around his body. He certainly is a dangerous player. Big spoil there by Brooksby. Toomey in there. He tried to get a handball. Taylor kicks it off the ground, and this gives Dickinson a chance. Panizza applies the pressure. Dickinson around his body towards Taylor. Look at this fella go. He's got one player to beat. Couldn't get away from him. Taps the ball forward to Bennett. Bennett lost his footing, and that's holding the ball in my book. And also an umpire, David Elliott's book as well. Good decision. Bennett just freezing on that one as he lost his footing. Sewer doesn't freeze. He's off. Oh, nearly got in trouble. Ralph, he certainly is the live wire. The kick was poor, and it's been taken by Christie.
Christie has a good mark in defence. He had the sun in his eyes. Christie plays on quickly. Looking for Steckel. He had the ball thumped away by both Livis and Lunn. John Martin around the body. Underneath that one, Brockhurst. He couldn't quite control it. Bennett attempted to keep it in. He's done it. Schwartz is out of play. Ronnie Taylor tackles him too high. He's given away a free kick. Ron Taylor hasn't had a big day today. Schwartz hasn't been a bad player for the Warriors, though. 70 metres out. He'll drive long to the point of the square. He's pushed it a little bit wider than that, unfortunately. Brooksby shepherded well. Allowed Christie to take the mark, and Christie plays wide. Dickinson and Hewitt, the runners. Hewitt goes across the top. Dickinson is providing plenty of run this afternoon. His work rate is high. Through half forward, Dewhurst underneath that one. Tankasic back strongly on the ball. He stood his ground. Tankasic did it well. Through the centre, John Martin. Short. Schwarz couldn't mark it. Controls it well. Handballs to Panizza. Panizza has the lead forthcoming. Templeton is deep in the pocket. He couldn't quite get there, Templeton. Tackling him strongly on that occasion. It was no free kick. Bennett almost gave it away. Now Kevin Harris towards the point of the square. Has he popped it through? I think he might have. Goal number 3, Kevin Harris, the salt and pepper man. He's in everything. Good work, and that's just what the Warriors needed. That's their first this term.
Well, that name could stick. The salt and pepper man. He certainly does get into everything, though you can't keep him out of the game. He looks an awesome sight with that headgear. Of course, Harris breaking his cheekbone rather severely about 8 weeks ago. It's a fine goal. It's his third. It's just given the Warriors a little bit of breathing space.
Back at centre, Libas in ruck. Christie, the ball came down. Fuller stole it. He did that beautifully. They're running the Warriors. That spells danger for South Adelaide. Panizza goes through the forward line. Haylock endeavoured to kick the ball in play, and he couldn't quite do it. And it's out of play, only a metre around from the left behind post. When the Warriors go running, it spells danger for opposition sides. They do it so well. Their hand skills, their precision handball is very, very good. They can tear a side apart in only 5 minutes if they're allowed to. Brooksby got the tap down, aerial ping pong. You can see where it got its name from. Whitford got out the handball. A trip was on Kapler by Taylor. No free kick. And now another ball up will surely take place. Some desperate play coming into this game, as both sides are really having a go. And
Rick Davies has made a move. He's taken young Valenti off and put Eddie onto the half-forward flank. And I've been impressed with Valenti's endeavour. He certainly has a go. A fairly sure pair of hands as well. Ball now taken there, appeared to be Nichols. His snapshot was offline, way offline. It's out of bounds in the full. And it appears like it'll be David Kapler bring the ball back in play. Yes, it is Kapler. His long left foot kick to the outer side. Taken off hands by Harris. Well tackled by Bennett. Play on the call. Now the ball out in the direction there of Panizza, being harassed by Taylor. Oh, good pressure by Taylor, but equally well done by Panizza as he got that handball away to Martin. His kick forward to Nichols on the left boot. Offline again. A little bit better than his previous effort. That one's a minor score. Woodville 10-14-74. 20 points clear of the Panthers, 8-6-54.
1 goal for and 1 out of bounds on the full to Stephen Nichols. It's an amazing thing, confidence. Normally would have kicked that. Bread and butter for him. Pittman thumps the ball forward. Templeton off the ground. Ricocheted off Pittman. It went forward for the Panthers. Good shepherding on that occasion done by Bennett, but Max Eddy slipped at the crucial moment and the ball has slew across the line. Michael Wilson, boundary umpire, will bring the ball back into play. The big fellows go at it again. It will be Christie for South Adelaide, Libas for the Warriors. It was Libas with the tap. Panizza, high kick. Templeton will need to go hard. The finish, there was no pressure. I thought he could have been killed. Now Schwartz.
A little bit dramatic, David.
The leader's on. He's decided to go it alone. It's a long kick towards goal, just offline. Yes, it might have been a bit dramatic, Kim, but certainly the ball went high and the finish, none of the other players wanted it, and Templeton took an easy grab.
Certainly did. Taylor's definitely been given the job on Panizza. Let's see if the young fella can apply himself. Has been at this stage of the game. And look at Dickinson. He's got an absolute paddock out there. The only player to give chase is Libas. Dickinson opts to kick the ball over the head of Stasanoski. Possibly would have been better running further into the forward line as the ball now comes out quite easily towards Templeton. Templeton was about to go off then. Gets the benefit of the doubt. Now drives in short towards Harris. So South Adelaide player being carried off the ground here at Adelaide Oval.
Brenton Honor, I think it is, Kevin. It appears to be a leg injury.
Doesn't look good. It could be a knee or an ankle. The ball's back in the centre of the ground. Toomey tried to play on the call, gets a wobbly kick away out towards Panizza. Taylor's right on him, but once again Panizza can get the handball away. Out there is Rogers, a long way down from his centre half back position. Has time to steady. Centres the ball. Back there is Christie. So too is Johnny Martin, who has drifted down from his wing. He did that in the first quarter and managed to kick a goal. Now he has an opportunity to post his second. About 20 metres out, directly in front. Shouldn't be a problem for John Martin, the Mr. Versatile of the Woodville side, and it isn't. He's popped it through for his second. They now move on to 11-15-81, South on 8-6-54.
Well, just when you thought South Adelaide were going to get back into this game, John Martin boots his second. It was well set up for him on that occasion by Andrew Rogers, drifting down from centre half back. He created with the balk a little bit of space for himself, Rogers, and he put the ball beautifully to the point of the 10-yard square, and as all good coaches will tell you, that's where they want to see the ball when it's deep in the forward pocket or a half-forward flank. Martin marked and made no mistake. Good play, the Warriors.
South kicked 3 in the first quarter, 2 in the second. They've kicked 3 in this third. They need a few more, though, to stay in this game or to get back into this game. Bennett's tackled. Strong work in there by Fuller, so too Hewitt. Hewitt provided some life early in this third quarter. Now the ball comes out towards Kevin Harris, keeps it in front of him. Back there is Christie. He's working hard. Taken by Haylock, kicks it out towards Templeton. Gee, this fella can find some space. He's a good player. Handball over the top, finds Toomey. Now Toomey's got a chance to steady. The pop shot on its way is woefully directed, and it goes straight in the waiting arms of Philip Brooksby.
Well, he wasn't sure on that occasion whether to slam it through or just chip away, and I think he was caught in half minds, Toomey. In the finish, it ended up with Brooksby. Brockhurst now the handball to the running player in Jarvis. Former Norwood man's given them some bite in their defence. Taylor, who's been given the job of minding Panizza. Now Taylor using his pace, he tried to get clear. Schneebichler he was looking for in the one-on-one. Schneebichler into the pocket, Stazanovski's up, in front of Lynch. He's had very limited opportunities today, Stazanovski, but what he's done very well. He already has 2 goals. He opened the third term for South Adelaide by booting one at the 6-minute mark and getting them rolling, and if he can steer this one through, which he can't, I was about to say it would have been his third, but 2 goals already to Chris Stazanovski. He now has 2 goals, 3.
Certainly is a confident character. He's had an absorbing duel with Robbie Lynch. Plenty of chit-chat going on out there. As Williams kicks to the outer side, front position, Dickinson couldn't take it. Libas in there, tried to do some tricky footwork, couldn't get away with it. Now the ball comes forward, back towards Williams, picks it up cleanly, kicks out wide, Fuller there. Front position was Hewitt. Fuller first to recover, does it well. Handball over the top, looking for the runner, Schwarz. Picked that up brilliantly. Oh, bakes his way through the pack, over the top to Templeton. That was brilliant play by Schwarz. Now also applies a Shepherd to allow Templeton to kick long. Back there is Zip-Zap. It's gone over his head and through for a minor score. Magnificent play by Peter Schwarz.
Yes, you're quite right, Kim. He had players running at him. It was a courageous effort just to bend down and pick it up. He could have been creamed, but courage paid dividends in the finish. Now Toomey, a good strong mark. Warriors are doing everything right at this stage of the game. Toomey drives the ball deep. Brooksby's underneath that one. He got both hands to it. Kevin Harris pulled the ball off the pack. There's been a free kick picked out. It's going the way of Brooksby. The umpire said he was held by Stephen Nichols. So Brooksby from full-back. He's done a good job today, under plenty of pressure. Drives to Dickinson. Dickinson controls the ball well. Tackled strongly by Ron Fuller. Just thrown away. It's been a free kick picked out and it's going the way. Appears to be John Menzel down from the forward zone. It is to Bennett in the middle of the glue pot. Bennett elects to go wide to the outer half forward flank. Rogers thumped the ball away strongly. Now Hewitt picks it up. Handballs off in turn to Steckel. Left foot to Schneebichler, who's gone, appears to full forward. He's tackled strongly. Back to Steckel. They can't get any momentum going in their forward zone, South Adelaide. And yet again, umpire Ross Campbell will come in and ball it up.
Well, this has been a great quarter of football, David. There's only been 5 goals scored in it, 3 to South Adelaide, 2 to Woodville. But this quarter has absolutely flown. We're 2 minutes into the time-on period. There's been some desperate work by both sides. To Bickler with a snapshot. Oh, he's just offline, and I don't think they needed that much.
Yes,
minor score. South Adelaide, 8 goals, 8.56. Woodville 11-16-82.
Yeah, we hit the post on that occasion, John Schneebichler, so certainly a bit of bad luck for him and the Panthers. They trail by 26 points. Dewhurst onto Schneebichler under plenty of pressure from Haylock. He did it well. Schneebichler run down by Panizza. Now Eddie lines up the goals, chips away from 25 metres out. He's got it. So they now only trail by 20 points. They have 4 goals this term, South Adelaide. Woodville have 2, so the Panthers are making making an indentation on the Warriors' lead.
Well, that was good work by Ronnie Taylor out there on the half-forward flank. He kept the ball in the area, eventually tapped it between his legs. A couple of handballs took place. The ball eventually ended up with Max Eddy. He had time to steady. He kept a cool head under the situation because there was plenty of pressure there. Popped it through, and he keeps his side in touch in this game.
They need to do that. It's looming as a great final term. Even though conditions are muddy, it's been a reasonably high-scoring game. We thought early in the first term it might have been a low-scoring game, but 11 goals to three-quarter time. The Warriors 9 goals to South, and it's not bad in these conditions. It's anyone's game still. Christie got the tap down. Coming out with the ball was Hewitt. The quick kick away came forward from John Martin. Toomey thumped it down away from Menzel. Now Taylor an opportunity. The handball over the top to Templeton, who thumped it forward. Out wide it's Brockhurst and John Martin, both players with plenty of pace, but the siren sounded to complete the third quarter here at Adelaide Oval. Woodville 11 goals, 16-82. Leads South Adelaide 9 goals, 8-62 by only 20 points, and it's certainly looming as a top last quarter. Quarter here at Adelaide Oval. It's the Warriors by 20 points. They led by 31 points at half-time after trailing by 8 points in the first term, but the Panthers have come back at them, and this looks like a good final term if the Panthers can continue their onslaught at goals. Libas forward. Underneath that one, Sewer, who's played well today. Shot out the handball to Kevin Harris. Salt and pepper again. At goals, goal number 4. He's been in everything that bloke. And yet again, he started the Warriors off on the right track.
Well, gee, he's a hard man to keep out of the game, and that's a magnificent start to the Warriors, and that'll certainly put a dent in this South Adelaide side. Going to take the wind out of their sails. Harris just streaming through the centre of the ground. How often does he do this? He's just got such a magnificent front-on approach. He's a very hard man to stop, and he kicks with a lot of accuracy.
4 goals to Kevin Harris. He's been a match winner today for the Warriors. Hewitt, who's now playing centre, pushes the ball forward. Steve-Bickler couldn't take it. Diving on top of it was Christie in the long sleeve Guernsey. And umpire David Elliott, officiating in his first league game today, and he hasn't done a bad job either, will bounce the ball just out of the glue pot. They've thrown it up in the centre all day. Christie with the tap. Lunn tackled strongly by Dewhurst, holding the ball. Free kick, Dewhurst. Rick Davies at three-quarter time would be seen telling his players to go long. That's the way they're going. Dewhurst into the forward zone, up, and a good mark taken by Eddie. There's been a free kick given away, however. That was a great grab to Eddie. Now 15-metre penalty. Livers playing on quickly, the Warriors. He put Templeton under a bit of pressure. He's good enough to get out of trouble. Livers did some good shepherding on that occasion. Templeton went forward. Taylor's underneath that one. Whitford in pursuit. Taylor picks it up, handballs off to Craig Lambert. Lambert on the left foot, lines up the goals off line, through for one behind. They have that ability, the Warriors, to move the ball quickly from one end of the ground to the other. On that occasion, Lambert, who started the game in the back pocket, lined up the goals.
Well, he's picking up Max Eddy now, so it appears that he may be having a run on the ball. The ball comes out wide. Taylor went for the big spoil. It's John Martin back to Libas. Not sure which way to go now. It's an awkward left foot kick out towards Sewer. He's found him. Ralphie had taken the mark. He was still rolling around on the ground. He was holding the ball up to the crowd. What a character. Ralph Sewer, zip-zap. He's kicked 3 goals. In fact, he's kicked 2 goals. He was attempting his third. He was offline. It's been some great football today. There really has. Fine marking, strong body work. It's had the lot.
Yes, it has had the lot. South Adelaide, of course, have been very competitive in recent weeks. They lost to 8 points, Port Adelaide last week, 4 points the week before in a stiff game against the Redlegs. And now they're fighting this one out to the finish. Dickinson forward, Pittman's underneath that one, he has the mark. He'll need to play on quickly. He has Christie one-on-one in the goal square on Williams. Now he goes that way. There's a few players drop back on it, however. Steckel it was, in fact, with the long sleeve Guernsey. He got a hand to the ball, but it drifted across the line and through for one behind, and Gary Rogers will bring the ball back into play for the Warriors side.
27-point advantage to the Warriors. The way this game has gone, it's quite possible South could get back into this. As Bennett grabs the ball, he's looking to feed off, chances his arm. Oh, he ran himself into all the trouble in the world. he's not happy. He was trying to feed off. He was looking to feed off towards Pittman. The kick would have been his best alternative, or his best option, should I say. As the ball comes in long, fisted away by Jarvis, and finally goes over the boundary line. And as a footballer, I must admit, and I think most players would agree, the worst thing that can happen to you is being caught holding the ball.
Yes, nobody likes that. A player who's playing who enjoys being caught with the ball. Your mates question your pace over a beer. Baker has rucked all day. He's done it strongly. Max Parker rucked for the Warriors for the first 2.5 quarters. Then Libbis came on as Tankasick, who's playing well, pushes the ball through the centre. Good mark, Whitford. He's had the job of minding Andrew Taylor all day. Taylor's got away a couple of times, but by and large, Whitford's done a good job. His kick is not a good one, however. Tankasick took front position. Christie picked it up. Tankasick tried to burst his way through. It allowed Baker an opportunity to handball off to Schnee-Bickler. Sneezer at half forward, centres the ball towards Steckel. Williams is there. Steckel got hands to ball, couldn't mark. Now Williams pushing the back. No free kick. Desperate work by Hewitt. Shoveled the ball forward, but the umpire had already decided that he'd ball it up. And David Elliott was the man.
And David Steckel limping back in the forward, full forward region there, David. So we'll keep an eye on him. He's obviously copped one around the leg. As Dickinson takes that, tried to feed out a handball. In there is Martin. His kick comes out the direction of Kaplan. Now Kaplan's flanked by Schneebickler, who want to be quick. Libbis is there. Tried to get the handball over. Schneebickler breaks his way through the pack. It was a poor handball. Looking for Dewhurst. And the Panthers missed out another chance to score.
Well, the Warrior defence has been very desperate today. They haven't allowed the South forwards any opportunity to score easy goals.
Ellis again with a bounce. Fisted away by Schwartz. Schneebickler in there, trying to get into the game. Taken by Eddie. He centres the ball well. That's intelligent football. Stazanowski back there, but a free kick's been picked out. And it's going the way of David Steckel. Steckel has 1 goal to date. We can see he looks a bit proppy there. Let's see if that affects his kicking at all. Shouldn't from that distance. 15 metres out, directly in front. He's posted his second. South Adelaide move on to 10-9-69, hanging in this game. They trail by 21 points. Woodville 12-18, and we've had 7.5 minutes.
David Steckel's second goal now means the Panthers trail by only 21 points. They've got enough time to get back into this game if they're good enough. They've done most of the attacking this term. Kevin Harris's goal was a beauty for the Warriors early, but they're fighting back the Panthers. They're not done yet.
Most crucial, this centre square. As Baker got the tap down towards Hewitt, he couldn't capitalise on it. Sur in there, he gets a clearing kick away. The ball travels long and the mark's been taken, or it hasn't been paid. That appears to be young Valenti back there. Dropped the chest mark. This allows Templeton to get the handball over to Harris. Could he kick number 5? Offline by Jingos. Is he a dangerous player?
Well, you'd have to say he is 4 goals, 2 now. Certainly an opportunity of scoring goal number 5. He gets the hard ones when he's running flat out. You wonder how his little legs can carry him so quickly. He gets them. That one was a little easier and he had plenty of time and he missed it. Hewitt forward. It's been moved to the centre midway through the 3rd term. He hasn't done a bad job. He's given the Panthers some drive. Schneebickler playing at half forward. Tackle when not in possession by Lund. No free kick. Ronnie Taylor run down. Again, no free kick. Maybe we'll have Rick Davies complaining about the umpires again. They haven't done a bad job today, the umpires. I've got to give them their due. David Elliott, officiating his first game, has done very well. Ross Campbell also. Schneebickler, the big thump forward. Stazanowski with a little bit of pace. He's run his 15 metres. He used all of it. He was run down. He got rid of the ball. Panizza thumps it back. Now an opportunity for Dewhurst. Back to Schneebickler on the left foot, short. Stazanowski cleverly shepherded for Max Eddy, but coming across the top was Lynch, and he thumped the ball across the line and out of play. Good defensive work.
About 30 metres round from the South Adelaide goal. Christie to do the ruck work opposed to Rogers. Christie takes front position. Rogers nearly managed to grab that ball. Now there's been a free kick picked out there, and that one looked pretty hairy-fairy to me. Not a lot in that. Let's see if Big Christie can capitalise on this opportunity. Certainly within distance, yet to kick a goal. Direct approach. Just holds back on the kick slightly. Getting back there, Stazanowski. Ball goes across the face of goal, so it's a minor score. So South move on to 10-10-70. Trailing Woodville 12-19-91.
21 points is the margin as Gary Williams brings the ball back into play. Panthers are still doing most of the attacking. Livis, a good mark. He's given them some fresh legs in ruck since midway through the third term. Kapler cleverly punched that ball away from Sewer. Now Sewer an opportunity to pick the ball up. Accelerates through that blue pot in centre field. Chip short on the lead as Nichols. He's up and he's got it. Brooksby's done a good job on Stephen Nichols today, although Nichols has 1 goal, 4 and 1 out of bounds on the full. Distance here well within the possibilities for Stephen Nichols.
Well, in fact, I was going to back him not to make the distance. See what happens.
He's a nice kick at goal, Kim. He's a beautiful kick. He certainly has distance, and that one certainly has made the distance. Offline, however, 1 goal, 5.
I knew I shouldn't have said anything then. He is a lovely kick.
Thanks,
Stop with this slight breeze. Brooksby plays the ball onto himself. Gains a couple of metres, kicks out wide. Back there, the mark's been taken by Panizza. He's been a lot quieter since Taylor was moved onto him. The ball over the head of Nichols. Back there is Brooksby. And Brooksby will get another opportunity to bring the ball back into play for his side.
Rick Davies obviously recognising the danger of Kevin Harris. He's given Dewhurst the job of tagging him in this final term, making sure that Harris doesn't get away, just holding his jumper and tagging his shorts. So they're mindful of what Harris can do if he explodes. Schwarz from half forward. There's also another beautiful kick. That one's almost gone the distance. Taylor got hands to ball, couldn't quite gather it in, and it's gone across the line, 1 behind. 12 goals, 22. Woodville inaccurate kicking for goal, 93. Lead South Adelaide, 10 goals, 10-70.
Well, David, it's all very well to pick up Harris now, but the horse may have bolted. He's already kicked 4 goals today, as the mark's been taken by Baker. Baker has a good look, decides to hug the boundary line, looking for Stazanowski. He couldn't control it. Jarvis in there, so too is Schwarz and Brockhurst. So they grapple it out on the ground there. Players will be getting fairly tired, running through that centre area. It's very heavy. It's been a physical game as the ball's tapped down towards Pittman. He's been a trier all day. Back towards Lynch. Pittman in there again. Oh, desperate work. Jarvis. Oh, well picked up by Stazanowski. His handball was poor. In fact, it went to his opponent. Tankasek, he only knows one way to go. That's straight through. The ball out towards Pittman again. Players struggling to get clear. Such is the desperation from both sides as Dickinson gets the ball. Now he gets it over to Eddie. Eddie drives long. It's 2-1 back there. And Williams would be very relieved to see that ball go over the boundary line.
Stazanowski wasn't happy with Eddie. He was flanking him on the inside, calling for the handball, and Stazanowski would have run into an open goal. So opportunities going begging for the Panthers. They've had a few this term. Ball comes down now to Steve Bickler. Desperately dives on the ball. The outer side of the field is drying out now. Ball is bouncing around. Ross Campbell will have a ball up. Played just on 12 minutes into the final term. Still plenty of time for the Panthers. Christie and Ruck. Rogers got the tap down to Sewer. Sewer weaved his way through the pack, got away a quick kick. Not well directed and out of bounds. He was looking for Fuller, who had Hewitt in pursuit. So we'll have a throw in deep in the half-forward flank in the Panthers' attacking zone.
24-point advantage to the Warriors. A few quick goals to the Panthers and this game would certainly come to life. It's been entertaining football, been desperate work. And there's another indication of desperation. Ron Fuller diving on top of that. Campbell to bounce again. Rogers doing the ruck work. Kapler in there, taken by Schneebickler. Weaves his way through, gets a kick away. Eddie with the spoil. Ball comes to ground. Well picked up by Lynch. Campbell on towards Haylock. Been quiet in the second half. Haylock centres the ball, drives it long, looking for Templeton. Jarvis with the spoil. Back there is Brockhurst. His handball over the top towards Baker. Baker's kick is smothered. Fortunately, it runs through towards Dewhurst. He lost his footing. Lack of communication there. The Panthers get out of trouble. little bit fortunate as Kapler goes forward. Stazanowski spoiled by Lynch. That's been a great duel. Picked up by Panizza. Taylor hasn't given him an inch, but he's still got his kick away. It finds Livis. Livis's handball is poor. Out there is Fuller. He's met solidly by Menzel. Picked up by Toomey. In there again is Menzel. Panthers stream into attack. It's a long kick. It's a wobbly kick. Mark not taken there by the young fella Lambert. Stacks on the mill and will have a bounce at the half-forward position, about 45 metres out from the South Adelaide goal.
Ross Campbell bounces the ball. Christie and ruck. Rogers was pushed down by Tankasick. Lambert tried to gather it in, so too did Steve Bickler. Steve Bickler just received a sprig on the leg. I think you could see the grimace of pain on his face as he went down. And there's young Craig Lambert. Recruited from Paraka. Port Adelaide's under-19s and under-17s before that, so he's seen a bit of football. Hasn't played too badly today. Tankasick holding the ball. Had to be. Good work by Christie. Pushed the ball long towards Steckel. Steckel's there. Unattended is Robbie Lynch. Blood streaming out of a nose, so he's got one. Stazanowski and him have had a pretty hard battle today. Lambert threw it away, not holding the ball. Livis back to Lambert, tries to thread his way through. That should have been holding the ball. Had plenty of time. Livis to Haylock. Quick left foot kick. Free kick downfield. He was hit as he disposed of the ball by Ronnie Taylor. Tankasick will take the free kick.
Now the Panthers have to man up here, David.
Yes, they do, Kim. They're starting to become a little bit ragged. The Warriors allowed to run free. Good mark, Andrew Taylor. One hand in the wet. Great mark. Now he plays on quickly, wastes no time around Whitford, heading towards the full forward line. Brooksby punches the ball away. Hewitt pick up the crumbs, evades the tackle well. Shorty will go to Pittman. Pittman will play on. Plenty of talk obviously out there as Pittman runs away with it. Wide to Taylor. Taylor and Panizza. Taylor has had the job this second half of minding Panizza, who was a star in the first term. Panizza's happy to see the ball fall across the line. He's won himself a free kick in doing so. Taylor held him when he didn't have the ball, and Daryl Panizza will take the free kick at centre wing.
Well, Ronnie Taylor played right into the hands of Daryl Panizza there. There was absolutely no reason to touch him. Panizza wanted that ball to go out of bounds. And now he's managed to gain a possession as he drives in long. Looking for Toomey, couldn't control it. Picked up by Whitford. Whitford's handball over the top. Looking for Dewhurst, his handball to Kapler. He's under pressure. Gets a small kick away. Dewhurst in there again. He's committed himself well today. Of course, Ron Taylor came into the side when Fairclough couldn't take his position in the side due to the fact that his wife is about to have a baby, so we wish them both all the very best. Out towards Pittman. Panizza gets another kick. Certainly knows how to find the ball. Taylor leads out in the chase. He's got to get rid of Whitford. Decides to concede ground back to Lunn. Lunn gets a kick away, even though it is an awkward one. Sewer there, couldn't control it. Toomey in there, working hard this Warrior side. Now the handball finds John Martin. He shrugged off the tackle. Could it be goal number 3? The kick on its way. Offline, minor score. Well, Woodville have all the answers. South Adelaide are certainly popping a few questions towards them. But this Woodville side has an answer for everything at this stage of the game.
Yes, they have. 2 goals, 2 to John Martin as Brooksby brings the ball back into play. He's going long, looking for Baker. Now back on the field. Taylor was tackled high by Menzel. No free kick, said the umpire. There'll be a ball up to take effect. We've had 17 minutes into this final term. 70 plays 95. 25 points the margin to the Warriors, and the Panthers still have time. Libbis down, Haylock, long handball to Harris, tackled by Dewhurst. Dewhurst sets out after Haylock, under pressure from Ronnie Taylor, gets a kick away. In towards Stephen Nichols in the forward pocket. He's content to see the ball across the line and out of play about 10 metres around from the right behind post. Taylor's coming in to do the ruck work for the Warriors. 52 is Whitford. Whitford hasn't done a bad job today on Taylor. 3 or 4 players were about to go at that one. Toomey and Menzel overran it. Whitford picked up the ball. It was high in the air, didn't cover much distance. Libbis thumped the ball away from Baker. Now Pittman picks it up quickly. Ships looking for Stazanowski. Out there taking a good mark, however, as Max Eddy came in well, covered plenty of ground. Now towards Schneebecker, courageously Schneebecker. He was hit high. That was nasty, but he really committed himself, and that's a sign of a great player, and both players are hurt.
Well, that certainly was. Courage at its highest level. John Schneebecker totally committed. And full credit to John Martin. He had his eyes on the ball. The ball goes forward. There's a walking wounded out there. Martin can hardly stand up. The ball comes back down towards Schwartz. His handball over to Harris. He's got away from Dewhurst temporarily. Had a fumble. Has time to recover. Evaded 3 South Adelaide opponents and puts his side back into attack. Whitford wearing Taylor closely. The punch away. Out towards Toomey. He crashes through. Back towards Harris. Where is Dewhurst? Nowhere to be seen. The ball comes out to Martin. He's running backwards. Got the handball back to Harris again. 3 possessions in about 30 seconds. Then over to Templeton. Back towards Haylock. Running shot at goal. It's through, and that could nearly be the sealer here at Adelaide Oval. Haylock's 3rd goal, set up by the run and courage of Kevin Harris. In fact, it's his 2nd goal for Haylock. So the Woodville side move on to 13 goals, 23. South Adelaide are on 10 goals, 10.
And they set that up very, very well. John Martin was the star of that one. He was down on one leg earlier. He created space, got the ball forward, and the Warriors have goaled through his courage.
Baker again opposed to Libas. Libas won the tap, came out towards Taylor. Taylor's kick away. Leading in the chase is Sewer. He couldn't control that. Brockhurst back there. Very short kick away. Bursting his way through is Whitford. Hasn't had a bad game, young Whitford. Kicks to the outer side. Been taken by Schneebecker. Appears to be okay. He came out of that last collision a lot better than John Martin. Underground pass towards Livers. Livers back towards Harris. Well, I'm just having a look. Harris definitely isn't being picked up by Dewhurst, as Dewhurst is on Haylock at the moment. Ball towards the back of the pack. Dewhurst is there and wins a free kick. So perhaps we were a little bit harsh on Dewhurst. He appears to be playing on the ball, but there isn't anyone actually picking up Harris at this stage.
No, Harris now picking up, Dewhurst picking up Haylock. Hewitt tried to get a kick away, smothered by Ron Fuller. Fuller goes in towards Taylor. Standing his ground was Whitford, got one hand to it. Brooksby out. Jarvis on to Menzel. Menzel under pressure, gets a kick away. No one home for South Adelaide. Bursting through is Termy. 25 players around the ball. He chips short. Easiest to mark. Short goal. Great work, Michael Templeton. 2 goals, 3 to his name. I think that's the penny section.
It certainly is. Definitely the nail in the coffin. We've had 21.5 minutes of this final quarter. It'll take nothing short of a miracle for South Adelaide to win this game. They've battled hard, but as we mentioned only about 5 minutes ago, it's Woodville that have had all the answers today. They've had too much run around the ground, and for old South Adelaide, just not enough up forward.
37 points now the margin. The Warriors have this one tidied up. Ron Fuller tried to take control. Now Ron Taylor for South Adelaide in front of Benizza. The kick was not well put. Lunn back to Rogers. He hasn't put a foot wrong at centre half back. Rogers has been yet again a star. Even after Wednesday tonight's game, you'd thought he would have been heavy in the legs. Fuller on to Schwartz. Turn on to Harris. They're at conceding ground. They're just playing with South Adelaide now, the Warriors. Ron Fuller evaded the tackle well. Chip short. Templeton's out on the lead in front of Jarvis. It was thumped away from him. Ronnie Taylor pushed it out a la Gaelic football style. Now he pursues the ball yet again. Pushed off the ball by Schwartz. Max Eddy looking for Jarvis. A bit too quick for him. Templeton. Goal number 5. Put it in your book. As he runs into goal, he's missed. Well, you wouldn't expect that, Kevin Harris. 4 goals, 3, and he's missed 2 of the easiest goals you'd ever see in this last term. Goals that you'd normally expect him to kick.
24-minute mark. That's Brooksby brings the ball out towards Dewhurst. Ralph Searle with a fine spoil. So the Warriors side have this game in their keeping now. And Ralph Sewer, 351 games, and he's still out there running around like an 18-year-old. Levis with a tap. Stazanowski a long way down the ground. tried to sidestep his opponent, but the man that he's battled with all day in Robbie Lynch was able to tap that ball over the boundary line. Now it's Livers again. Baker couldn't control it. Hewitt back there. Back towards Whitford. Back to Hewitt again. And the mark's been taken by John Martin. Had a steady game. Kicked a couple of goals from his wing. It's a wobbly kick. Dewhurst and Harris standing there locking arms. Ball still in play. Whitford back to Jarvis. Amble to himself, looking for support. There's none forthcoming. Now it's Templeton again. His snapshot is offline. In fact, it's out of bounds on the full.
1 goal, 3 and 1 out of bounds on the full, Michael Templeton. Brooksby battled hard at full-back all day. Out looking for Menzel and Baker. In front it was Toomey. Couldn't mark. Now Lynch, he got a quick kick to that one. Livers under pressure. Kapler, Stazanovski, Eddie. Panthers are running a game, but it might be just a little bit too late. Schneebicklet paddles the ball over the top from Lunn. Then he handballs to Bennett. He got a B-grade bounce. Rogers there. Holds it in the area very well, Rogers. And now the Warriors are playing for time. We've had just on 25 minutes, so we're about to commence time on to the final term in what has been a very entertaining game here at Adelaide Oval.
Rogers with a tap. Still working there as he pushes the ball forward. Close to the boundary line. Eddie snaps it back over his shoulder. Centres the ball magnificent. There's a brilliant mark there taken by Gary Williams. Well, he certainly can fly. I've seen him take marks similar to that before. Very good in the air. Kicks out wide. Tankersick's been left all by himself. Nobody wants to know him. Have a look at that for loose checking. Drives long over the centre square. Out, look, oh, it appeared to be pushing it back. Play on the call. Harris in there. So too is Brooksby. Harris again. Out towards Taylor. Taylor snapshot at goal. Going across the face. Nichols just managed to snare the ball before the boundary line. Centres it back towards you-know-who, Kevin Harris.
Now, Kim, I've got to tell you, it is Craig Dewhurst's job of finding Harris. He's been down on him the last couple of minutes, and Dewhurst was in the goal square. Harris dropped back to centre-half forward. He wasn't within 35 metres, Dewhurst. Not being hard on him. Kevin Harris is a great player, and he has that ability to get away. A bit unlucky on that occasion. He's hit the post. So 4 goals. 4 goals for Kevin Harris in a fine display of roving.
We've had 26.5 minutes of this final quarter. South Adelaide 70 points. The Warriors 109. It's a 29-point advantage to the Warriors, and they deserve the victory. 39, actually. It was always hopeless at maths at school. So free kick's been picked out there, and it'll go the way of John Menzel.
Bet you can count your race winnings, Kim. Menzel has the kick. From half back, he goes towards the centre. Bennett's there in the front. Hewitt couldn't quite take it off the pack. Now out to Taylor. Short he goes. Stazanovski lost his footing, but took a good mark. Under pressure from Robbie Lynch. There's no love lost between those two. It's been a ding-dong battle all day, and I mean that quite literally. Stazanovski from half forward goes short to the run of Hewitt into space. Wasn't quite well put. Haylock comes out with the ball defensively. Now Templeton, who's run well all day. He's been a good player. Panizza, who was a star in the first half, goes through half forward. Toomey, also been another battler. On to Livers, a good player since coming on midway through the third term. Lines up the goals, bangs away right through the middle to the delight of the Warrior supporters. Goal number 1 for Livers, and the Warriors go to 15 goals, 25, 115, leading South 10 goals, 10, 70.
That's a 45-point advantage. I've got that one right. It's been a fine win to this Woodville side. South Adelaide certainly did throw down the challenge towards them on several occasions throughout this game. But as we mentioned on a number of occasions now, it's the Warriors who have had all the answers.
Back in centre, Livers, who just scored the last goal opposed to Baker. Baker it was with the tap. Went down to Fantasia, who's now back on the field, who got it out to Haylock. In turn, he pushed it forward. Underneath that one was Lynch. Off in turn to Martin, who's recovered from that leg injury before. Phil Brooksby, last line of defence. Good, strong mark. Stephen Nichols today has kicked 2 goals, 5. So he's had enough opportunities, but Brooksby, I think, on the day has come out in front in that battle. Brockhurst Been a good player in defence for South Adelaide. He's had plenty of work to do too. Whitford's been a star on Taylor. Stazanovski tried hard from limited opportunities. Forward he goes. Schneebickler, he hasn't had a big day today, Schnees, and Lunn has played a beauty. And if we're looking for good players in the back lines for the Warriors, it's Lunn and Rogers. They've been stars. As the final siren sounds here at Adelaide Oval, a handy victory to the Warriors. 15 goals, 25 in accurate kicking there. 115 points their tally. Have beaten South Adelaide 10 goals, 10, 70 in what most certainly was an entertaining game from Adelaide Oval.
I've missed these goal kicks in the last quarter.